Hey everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous, and welcome to the Twin Peaks Part 16, No Knock, No Doorbell, Watch Along. My guest today is actually a new one to this channel. She actually just started her YouTube channel a couple weeks ago, and Mandy, who typically is on these watch-alongs, is actually going to visit some friends this weekend for the Twin Peaks finale down in Los Angeles. So she is at this moment flying down to Southern California. So I wish her a great weekend, and hopefully she shows up on Sunday, and I'll get into that a little bit of what is happening on Sunday. But let me introduce my guest tonight. She is the creator of the new Twin Peaks channel, How's Annie? It's actually Annie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I think I feel exactly like Tammy when she was asked to join the Blue Rose Force Task. Being on that video is very meaningful to me. So thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Well, I'm just glad you're not a tulpa. So.
Well, I'm still not sure exactly what a tulpa is. I mean, I do know, but the more I think about it, the more I get confused. So maybe I am a tulpa. Who knows?
So if you guys have not already subscribed to her YouTube channel, I'm going to say this a few times tonight, I'm sure, just go to the How's Annie YouTube channel. Right now you have, I think, about 71 subscribers. So we need to get you to at least a few hundred by the time the finale ends. And it's my understanding that you are going to continue doing Twin Peaks or David Lynch related videos even after the series is over.
I am mainly for selfish reasons. I'm not ready to give up, and I've just started putting my foot in those waters, and I think it feels pretty good. And the more I get into Twin Peaks, the more I'm in love with it. So I don't think I can just say goodbye tomorrow. I don't know if people will still be interested. I mean, I intend to review books as well. I'm not very far ahead, but I'm reading the books right now. So yeah, my love for Twin Peaks, I think, will only grow even after the end of part 18.
So you started with actually part 15.
I did.
Now it's hard to go back and theorize after we've seen everything so far. But are you going to go back and talk about the earlier episodes at some point, or are you just going to move forward from here on?
I think I will. I think if you want to move forward, you always have to look back with David Lynch. So yeah, for sure. I mean, every time you watch the older episodes, you keep rediscovering things, especially in a new light. So the parts actually just get better every time you watch them. So yeah, for sure. I can't wait actually to rewatch the whole thing, knowing what we'll know on Sunday. It's quite exciting. So yeah, for sure. There's hope for more vlogging. Hopefully all the weirdos who are watching this will keep watching. I think I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that people are watching it like I was 2 weeks ago. I think it's awesome. I think it's an awesome community, really.
I've been doing these videos off and on for about 5 years now, and it's funny to go back and look at some of the analytics of the videos, because I mean, there were, years 2014, 2015. Some of the videos were getting like 150 views. And now the videos are getting several thousands.
Yeah.
It's just, everybody's in Twin Peaks fever right now in the community. I'm curious to see what the video numbers will be a year from now, if it's going to go back to that, 200 range,
Yeah.
or if it's going to, I think people are going to, now that it's back, I think that there's gonna be a wave of people riding that for a while. I think people are not gonna just automatically ditch it just because it ends Sunday. Maybe any of the mainstream people, but you know what though? I don't think there's any mainstream people watching the show anymore anyway. So.
And I also think some of the mainstream people will discover it later as well. I feel like other latecomers are out there not knowing what they're missing yet, but at some point they'll realize that it's out there and they need to grab it,
Right. So I have to ask, and this is something we'll address more Sunday, and I'll get into what that's going to be. Are you, obviously you're very excited about the finale coming up.
I am. I'm nervous.
That's what I'm saying. I'm nervous, and I'm not nervous because I think it's going to be bad. I'm getting nervous and jittery because it's Friday night before the
Yeah.
finale,
Yeah.
and the show is so, or the movie, whatever, is so primed to just nail it in every way, shape, and form. And I don't want it to stumble. I want it to hit on all cylinders, whatever that
Yeah.
may be.
Yeah. Yeah. I just hope it won't be like, oh, it was just a big dream. Like, I don't want this. I know there will be elements of that. I mean, dreams are everywhere, but I heard you talk about Lost the other day, and I was very disappointed with the Lost finale. But even if it was something like this that Lynch and Frost would do, I love them so much I would forgive them, and I would still embrace whatever finale we get. But yeah, I feel actually I'm worried about Monday morning. You know, when you wake up like the day after, I feel like it will be a big emptiness in my life. Although I will probably refill it by going back to previous parts and keeping the mystery alive. I'm sure we'll be left on some kind of a mystery for sure.
Sure. That probably goes without saying, but I really hope there's like a satisfying ending, and it doesn't just end with you know, uh, some big cliffhanger. I don't think that
Yeah,
they're going to do that. I really
I don't
don't,
think either.
because
I don't.
as I've said before, season 2 ended with that many cliffhangers because they were trying to get ABC to bring it back for season 3.
Yeah.
If they had known they weren't coming back from season 3, Lynch has said before that he wouldn't have ended it that way. So, maybe this being a standalone series, I know a lot of people are still counting on a season 4. I don't think we're going to get a season 4. I think, as I've said before with Hal, I think that we'll probably, if there's anything else, it'll be more of like Showtime, maybe
Enough.
or a couple like just 2-hour little movies that Showtime puts out. I don't think we're going to get another 20-hour movie. I
It would be
highly
great
doubt
though.
it. It would be
Yeah.
great, and I want to be wrong.
Yeah,
I,
I know how you feel. Yeah,
I really
totally.
want to be wrong, but I'm not expecting at the end credits to have it say Agent Cooper will return in 2018. I'm not expecting that.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither. But I'm expecting a great finale. I'm sure, like the way they know what they're doing and the way they've been slowing down and then speeding up our experience. I mean, they won't just drop the ball for the 2 last hours. I'm sure it's going to be mind blowing.
Right. There's the website Welcome to Twin Peaks. They posted up a story either yesterday or today talking about how there's 10 things in this series that we haven't seen yet from the trailers, and how odd is it that David Lynch has shown us so much from the final 2 hours, but nothing during
Right?
the Dougie stuff. We never saw any of that in any of the teasers, right? Obviously
Yeah.
that would have tipped their hand as to what they were doing. But a lot of things that we've seen all stem from potentially either the last 2 hours or just things they shot for Showtime promos, which I wouldn't put past Lynch to do. Like some of those shots of Kyle looking and stuff. I almost wonder, is that part of the series, or is that just things that they shot just to
I feel
get
like it's things that they shot just so that they don't give away any clue ahead of time. I have
right?
a feeling. Yeah, I might be wrong.
Right. So, uh, no, I'm super excited. I'm just like, I'm so nervous, and I
Yeah,
don't want it to be over Monday, and it's not over Monday. The conversation continues, but
for sure.
there's as of Sunday night, there will be no new episodes, no new media until
Yeah.
Mark Frost's book drops in October, and after that, who knows?
Yeah, I feel like it will be a celebration in a way on Sunday, and I also feel like I'm attending a funeral, you know?
No, no,
So yeah, mixed feelings.
all right, so let's discuss what's happening on this channel on Sunday. So from 12 p.m. To 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a live countdown to the finale. Before this series began, I did a 7-day countdown until the episode, and then the day of, I did a countdown to the premiere, and that was a lot of fun. And what I did with that is, usually I have a co-host or two, but that day I just did it. I started it by myself, and then I I opened the floodgates, and all these people that had been on the podcast before all kind of came and went over those 4 hours. And it was a lot of fun. It was just like a giant party. We were all like sharing our experiences and our hopes and our dreams for what we hope to see in the new series. This one I'm going to do a little different. I have extended the invitation, obviously, to everybody who has been on these podcasts before. And I've also extended the invitation to a lot of the viewers. So if the viewers wanted or would like to be on the podcast on Sunday, all you got to do is send me an email at obnoxiousandanonymous@hotmail.com, and we'll get you on. I'm not sure how long you'll be able to stay on, because I checked Google Hangouts, and it turns out I can only have 10 on at a time. And I have a lot of people who want to come on. So, because it's the finale, for goodness sake. So, so plan on, 5 to 10 minutes or whatever, and at least just to say hi and wish the finale well. And it looks like there's going to be a lot more people than I had the last time. And the last time I had, I think 16 or 17 on. Now it looks like, at least right now, by the people who are interested, I have about 45, 50 coming on in 4 hours. So
Jesus.
And it's still Friday. Wait till Sunday morning when I get the late callers coming. So that should be a lot of fun. But you will be one of them.
I will be. I'm so honored. Thank you. And
honestly, I want to extend the invitation past tonight and Sunday as well. So I would like you to be able to come on more frequently, because I adore your channel. Even though you just started up, I think that you have a real winning channel there.
That's so kind. Thank you so much. I mean, to me, the whole Twin Peaks, the return and everything has been enriching my life so much. I mean, I kind of feel like Nadine. I did not purchase the gold shit digging shovel, but I feel like metaphorically that season and the creativity that it brought back in me that I kind of lost for a bit. I feel like I was on Dougie mode, and everything I've been watching, the podcast, everything has been waking me up a little bit. So I would be more than happy to keep contributing to your channel as well. And thanks for the compliments.
And for those of you who may be new to these videos, just so you know, the channel I'm doing the live streams on is not, it is my channel, but it's not the official main channel. We've been having a lot of problems with YouTube this summer. And it's been a real pain in the tail feathers. So I've been putting all the videos up on a new platform called VidMe. And so if you can't find Twin Peaks or any video you're looking for on the main channel of Obnoxious Anonymous, check the VidMe account. Everything will eventually be there. But hopefully in a couple months, I'll have my live stream back on my main channel, and then we'll really have a party there, but Twin Peaks will be over. So I said to YouTube, I said, great, so I'm going to get my live stream back, but after the show is over. Can I get it back before the finale? No. So, damn.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why are you their enemy like this?
I have no idea. I didn't do anything to them. So, but YouTube just has it out for certain people out there in the community, and it's just it's awful.
YouTube is Bob now. Bob has entered YouTube.
Well, yeah, that YouTube bubble does look like Bob a little bit,
Oh, nice.
But we keep churning out the Garmin Bosia on the channel, and they just keep seeping it into the floor, and it's not good. So, all right. So yeah, please, if you guys are interested, show up Sunday, 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Should be a lot of fun. Of course, that video will be up on one of the channels after it airs. It might be a little later than normal, just because right after the finale, Hal and I will be doing the instant reaction to the finale. So then I got to get that up on YouTube, and it's going to be like 8 hours of YouTube videos I'm going to have to upload and download, and it's horrifying. I missed the days doing videos live, and then after I was done, it was uploaded on the channel, and all was great. Now I got to download and upload and convert, and it's a nightmare. So But I do it for you guys because I adore you guys so much. Okay. Next thing we got to discuss. Okay, wait, hang on. There's actually breaking news here. Let's see here. Okay, people are saying that Julie Cruz posted something. Oh, I don't know what it is, but some people are saying that Julie Cruz apparently is saying she's not in the finale.
Was this on Instagram? I saw something. I didn't click on it. I was like, I don't want any spoiler.
I don't know anything about it, but people have been asking her on Facebook a few months ago, like, "Oh, are you going to be on this new show?" And she said, "Yes, I recorded. I did a performance, and I'll be there. Just relax." So we always just assumed she was the last one.
Yeah.
So now she's saying she's not in the finale. Well, guess what? We still have one episode before the finale.
True. It is true.
And what scares me is we'll get, a good episode of Twin Peaks, and then the finale will be like part 8 again. And it'll be all black and white and nightmarish, and I'll have to hear.
It was awesome, though. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll have to hear Hal say "got a light" over and over again, and then I'll have to do my "this is the water, and this is the well. Drink full and descend."
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
You're scary. You're scaring me now.
Sorry.
It's okay. As long as there's not like a frog coming into my mouth now.
Good segue. But first, people want to know, where are you from? They all think you're from France.
I'm not from France. Close enough. Well, far away. I'm from Montreal, so I'm French Canadian. That's why I have a mix of accents, actually. So yeah. But French people are different.
And I adore your Log Lady picture behind you.
Thank you. I've got 2. Actually, I got them on Etsy. Rest in peace. Yeah, and the other one is just a log. Oh my God, I'm showing you like my props. I can also show you my cell phone cover. I had to remove it because I'm using. You don't want to know how I installed my webcam here. It's shameful. But that's my little cover, and it says Diane, so it's
that's great.
Dell's recording machine. Yeah.
That's fantastic. I need to get one of those.
You should.
Are you recording? Are you recording right now, like through a teddy bear camera or something, or what?
No, I'm not. You're in charge of the archives. I'm not recording anything right now.
People are wanting to know about what your channel name is, so go ahead. I've already said it, but go ahead.
How's Annie? It's pretty easy. Dale Cooper says it a lot of times at the end of season 2. So how's Annie? I don't think there's a question mark on it. And YouTube wouldn't let me. I
love the fact that you named it How's Annie, because you know me, I am a devoted Annie Blackburn non-apologist. And
we don't know how she is yet, so
we don't know how she is.
Question.
Kyle said we will learn how she is at some point. He said that early before the series played. It is. I still maintain, obviously, until I'm proved wrong, that if Richard is the product of the doppelganger and Audrey, then Linda is the product of Cooper and Annie right when they had sex before the Miss Twin Peaks contest.
It's quite likely. I think you're onto something. I'm not sure. Like, I can't be sure of anything anymore, so I tried to look at all options.
Totally.
And I've heard the theory about Diane's daughter as well. I just wonder why she would be in Twin Peaks, though, because Diane never lived in Twin Peaks. So why would she live in a trailer park?
And people have said to me, but Linda is a war vet. And it's like, yeah, you only have to be 18 to serve in the U.S., and it's 25 years later. She could have gotten wounded in the Middle East or something like that. That would have, that would bring into like Mark Frost's like politics. Also, wouldn't Cooper's daughter serve the government in some way, just like he was in the FBI?
Yeah. Oh, right? Interesting. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Especially maybe she got like all the good stuff, like the good DNA from Dale was The other kid got all the bad stuff from Mr. C, so that would make a lot of sense. But we'll see. I was also thinking, with that stone where Richard died, like, is that what they mean? Like, has Linda got to do with that stone as well? Will she be there? Has she ever been there? But I think your theory is the most likely, I gotta say.
Some people have theorized that it's going to be Francesca Eastwood playing Linda, because she hasn't shown up yet. Francesca, she's actually a local girl. I don't know if she lives here anymore, but she lives in my town. And
Wow.
and Clint Eastwood was my mayor when I was growing up. So, and he's very nice. He's a very nice guy. But they did a reality show called Dina and Company, like filmed in my area, and Francesca went to one of the local high schools around here. So I don't know. I don't think she still lives here, but I'm sure she frequents a lot. So I'm curious if she is Linda. But then other people have said, wouldn't it be interesting if Cheryl Lee played Linda? Have you've seen those TMZ leaks from 2 years
I haven't.
ago? Okay.
I haven't, and I don't want to.
Okay.
No, because I can't imagine Cheryl Lee. It doesn't compute in my mind.
I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as a possibility, because people,
maybe.
The other possibility is this one got a real good reaction online yesterday. So, in this episode that we're going to discuss, Diane says something akin to "I'm in the sheriff's station," or some people say she says "I'm a sheriff's station," but the subtitles, because some people say forget about what the subtitle says. She says "I'm a sheriff's station." So a lot of people were saying, okay, well, she's probably Nido, because if you flip the name, it is Diane.
Yeah.
I get that. I still maintain I think that Nido could be Diane and Judy. It could be because I firmly believe.
I think so as well. I think
Nido is Judy. However, a viewer did contact me yesterday and threw out this possibility, and I was like, that is intriguing enough that I'm going to share. And some people, when they heard this or saw this, they were like, oh my God, that's it. And then other people were like, no, that is not it. So I mean, who knows? But I just think it's a fun conversation. And that is, instead of Diane being Nido, what if Diane is actually Maggie?
I thought about this as well.
Go ahead, tell me your theory on that.
Well, I thought about it for like half a second, so it didn't really stick with me. But I wondered, but then I'm not sure if it. I don't think that's the answer, but it's one of the figures who could be in the sheriff station. She wasn't there before. I can't digress more than
one of the things that this viewer sent to me, he doesn't want to have his name revealed. He comes up with some intriguing things, but he's like, "Oh, I just want to be anonymous."
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I always crack up though. I'm like, yeah, the channel's called Obnoxious and Anonymous, but none of us are anonymous. So, but he was saying that there's that scene where all those calls are coming in, and she just keeps saying something like, "Help is on the way, help is on the way, help is on the way," as if Diane is saying, Cooper's coming back. Relax, calm down. I was like,
that's interesting.
Yeah, but again, there's a lot of things that are really interesting and plausible, and then there's the other side that Twin Peaks fans see what they want to see.
Yeah.
Well. So
that's so true. That's why I feel the closer you feel like you're finding the truth, you're just getting further away from it sometimes. So that's why I don't trust my senses anymore. I just don't know what to think. Sorry, the installation I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it dropped.
There you are.
Are you still there? Okay, good. Can you see me? I can't see you.
No, I just see this like wig on a glass ball.
Wait, I'll get you again. You're like
you've evolved into Philip Jeffries.
Exactly. Oh my God. Okay, I think.
You have no picture.
Yeah, I don't see anything. What's that?
You don't have there's no camera button or anything to hit? This is live video, folks.
I know.
This is what happens. Back in the day when I used to do these on Skype, I would just cut out this stuff.
I don't know. I don't know where I'm at. I'm at the sheriff station.
Exactly. You're in the netherworld. Watch out for that purple ocean. I see a blonde wig and some yogurt.
Yeah, that was when back in the days, I had a blog, a French Canadian blog, and it was the blog the most ready for the 22nd century, and it was called like my hat is a wig or something. I don't know. It was completely nonsensical. So that's why I took this picture, and now I just thought I'd use it again. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to go like back in your world, but I'm obviously.
Well, one of us has to die first before you can come back. So.
Oh man. Well, that's fun.
You've disappeared. People are gonna miss seeing your face. You got to come back.
I know. I'm trying to get back. It's just I'm actually on my cell phone right now because my webcam is really awful.
You may need to exit and come back in.
Yeah, people don't know how many problems we had earlier.
There's no button there.
Oh, maybe this. Do you see me now?
You're back. Now turn it sideways. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh my God.
You're back.
Thanks for your patience, everyone. It's pretty funny. I kind of like those things.
I got the front desk now. She was never here. And news from Deer Meadow. Agent Chester Desmond has disappeared.
Well, actually, it's kind of out of the subject, but I've been looking back at that scene with Philip Jeffries, and there's like a poster on the wall. It looks like a bell. It's like the shape of a bell. But now with what we've seen in part 15, I find that they look very similar. I mean, they're maybe not the same object. Maybe one is a bell, the other one is a kettle. I'm not sure, but I find it interesting that, he would actually transform in the image, in something similar to the image that was right next to him 25 years ago. So there you go.
Well, I think they kind of had to do something like that because he was so ill. So
yeah,
I understand why they had to do the voice actor for that, but I don't. In retrospect, I'm not sure why they had to redub the footage from Fire Walk with Me, because his voice, I know they wanted continuity, but his voice coming out of that contraption would have sounded distorted anyway, so it wouldn't have really mattered. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I know.
Anyway, last bit of news before we get going on the watch along. It's always funny because I get people screaming at me like, when's the damn watch along start? We're gonna get to it, everybody. Relax. Actually, everyone's being very nice in the chat. Oh, by the way, they're saying that you are a doppelganger right now because you got a red room behind you.
I do. But there's some paint missing in my red room.
Please warn the viewers before you start screaming manically with a strobe light.
I will. I promise.
All right.
I'm just not going to tell you ahead of time next time my cell phone falls down, and that's going to be a surprise. But if there's any doppelganger activity, then I'll let you know ahead of time.
I just have one thing to say to you, and that is... Yeah. Meanwhile,
I can't even do it. Like I can't. She does it best. I can't pretend that I'm.
I gotta say this, okay? Because being a Twin Peaks like uber fanatic here. Listen, when the show first started, I remember thinking right away within the first minute, why'd they make that edit? When she does the finger thing. She's like, "Hello, Agent Cooper." In the season 2 finale, when she does the finger thing, she holds it, like she clicks it, and then it holds, and then it cuts to Cooper. Whereas Dwayne Dunham, the editor, cut it on the finger thing. When she does the finger, it doesn't hold and then cut to Cooper. He cuts it on the finger movement. I'm like, that is a very peculiar thing. I mean, did you think making this 18-hour movie that you would save 1 second of screen time? Like, why
Yeah,
would you make that alteration?
yeah.
It's
And
very peculiar.
I'm very intrigued by the meaning of that gesture because it sounds familiar in a way. I'm like, what familiar object do I know that makes that sound? But I can't identify any. But it feels so familiar.
Right. Okay. So, last thing I was saying before we get to this watch along. I have been for a long time completely making fun of this book from 1991.
It's beautiful.
I think this is like one of the worst Twin Peaks books I've ever had owned in my life. But back in the day, I bought everything Twin Peaks. It's filled with a bunch of like just silly nonsense and statistical facts about things that people don't care about. However, a viewer contacted me today. His name is Bud Ginnis. I hope I'm saying that right. And he contacted me and said, Karen, you make fun of this book all the time. He goes, but turn to page 14. I was like, 14? What on earth could that be? So again, I just want to show this here. Copyright here is 1991. Just want to prove that. Okay. So I go to page 14. In the middle of this book full of silliness and nonsense, on page 14, what do we get? The frog moth.
Holy Dougie. Oh my God.
As David Lynch says in the series, holy jumping George.
And I couldn't read, but it says like it's an Indian creature. Okay.
Yeah, I will read it to you. Let me just focus my camera here. Sorry, guys. Okay, it says, I'm probably mispronouncing this totally. It says, the Chinook legends describe the appearance long ago of the ancestress of the Frog clan. They tell of a house floating in the middle of a lake. On the house sits a woman, her knees, breasts, eyebrows, and the backs of her hands covered with flying frogs. Ever since that time, the flying frog has been viewed as a special crest. And it comes from Hawk's heritage.
Whoa.
So combine this with the frog moth that Lynch talks about in the Inland Empire DVD. And I think we have a clue as to what this is about. But this is from 1991. This is amazing. So maybe this book isn't worthless after all.
That's really cool. Yeah, because we did feel like it was just something very new. They just came up with this, and oh my God, I mean, I want this book now.
Well, I'm sure you can find it for 75 cents on Amazon. So, oh, my camera. See, you went off, and now
I cursed you.
You did. Oh my goodness! Don't do that to me, please. Don't curse me. I have enough curses in my life as it is.
I'm laughing. It's not funny. I'm like, oh, you're cursed. Or you.
All right. Are we ready to get started? There's a lot to talk about in this episode.
Yep.
And then after the episode, we're going to take a lot of your questions. So if we don't get to them during the episode, just save them and throw them at us after, and we'll take them. Even though she's 3 hours ahead of me, she says she's wide awake. So let's rock.
Let's rock.
So you're going to be watching this on the Crave TV site, and I'm going to be doing this off the Showtime site. I don't know if you have a commercial beforehand, but I will let you know when it's just Showtime Presents, and so you can,
okay, good.
You can hit it. So, all right, guys, here we go. Thank you for watching along. Okay, here we go. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, hit play. All right, so I have Showtime always promotes their latest stuff. They're promoting today Matt LeBlanc's episodes. A show I think I've seen half of season 1, but I have I don't know. I think they've done like 4 or 5 seasons by now.
That's way too long.
That's way too long for any Matt LeBlanc show.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt.
Okay, here we go. And Showtime Presents. Hit play. And the Rancho Rosa is like very colorful tonight. It's red and green and blue. And they went all out on that one.
They sure did.
I like to tease Shirley. I adore Shirley, but this has to be just the easiest acting gig of her life to just be paid for every episode for having her picture at the front credits. God bless her. She's done a lot of hard work over the years, and she's never really been, people don't really go gaga over her, and I think she's a phenomenal actress.
Yep.
I do love these like drone shots here. The fact that they could just have it go right over the falls.
It's so amazing. Like the first time I saw the opening of the old series, it just really turned me off because I wasn't in that mode. I didn't know better. But now I'm enjoying every second of those.
Yeah, I'd love the flowing drapes. It reminds me of the opening credits of Blue Velvet with the robe and blowing.
And who else than David Lynch would use that like bright fluorescent green on red? Like nobody. It's perfect.
No, it's like red and green are the colors that your eyes can't really adjust to, which is why they chose it for Freddy Krueger's sweater in Nightmare on Elm Street. Now it opens up with the traditional Lynch shot of the car headlights on the road, which is something that goes all the way back to Blue Velvet. But I love the music here with the doppelganger and Richard driving, and it's kind of a shame that Richard. I mean, listen, I wanted him to die a horrible, horrible death, but I understand some people's frustrations with it because they were like, oh, I kind of expected more from his character since he was built up as being the super villain. But I mean, he's probably dead, but who knows? He may still show up in the finale.
Yeah. Well, in a way, I'm kind of glad we got rid of him, but I feel bad for him as well. He's been, I mean, from his birth, this guy was cursed, so he's had a really bad life, and I don't know if there was any recovery for him ever. He would only have made things so much worse. So good riddance,
Oh no, I was happy and ecstatic that he was burning up on that rock. But I was hoping maybe to see just a little bit more. Some people have said, well, how can Cooper even understand from the fireman, Richard and Linda? And of course the series may say something different, but I always kind of pictured of it as since him and the doppelganger are one and the same, that if the doppelganger has met them, chances are Cooper has the memory of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's that. And also I think there was that moment in part 3 where he looked out the red drapes and saw the doppelganger driving on the road. And I'm thinking maybe Cooper has spent 25 years looking at his loved ones' lives, have they gone on? And maybe he was aware of Richard and Linda just from, watching like a ghost through the drapes.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The common memory that the doppelganger and Dale would have together, I feel like that would mean that right now they know exactly what they're doing as well. So Bad Cooper would know that Dale is going with the Mitchum brothers and stuff, and I don't think that's happening. So,
well, remember though, not all of these stories are happening on the same timeline.
True, but still, as it happens, they would know. They would have like that web camera inside, being like, "Oh, that's what he's up to now."
Right.
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out. But yeah, no, I think this actor who plays Richard, I mean, he did a great job. I mean, it's very hard to play someone who is totally unapologetically evil.
He is, but on top of that, I can feel a vulnerability as well. Like the way he looks at Bad Coop sometimes is just like, Daddy, like take me in your arms, look at me. I can feel that thirst to be recognized. So I feel bad for him.
And also there was that scene with Red where he was basically humiliated.
Yeah, and because he called him kid. So right. I think he's got huge father issues.
Oh, completely. I wonder if Red is that going to be dealt with in the finale, you think?
I have no idea. Like for sure he's gotta, and I don't even know if he's good or bad because I mean it looks bad. He's dealing drugs and stuff, but
He's little Nicky all grown up. Now
that's true. I never thought of this.
now here's the surprising thing of this whole scene. Forget about Richard exploding into fire. What the heck is Cherry Horn doing here? And you know, now some people have said when he looks through and he says like dear God or something like that, like he's aware of who is walking up this hill. I don't really get that feeling. That seems to be just sort of like David Lynch kind of impeding sort of like a doom over this scene, because I mean Jerry has, as far as I'm aware of, has no clue that his nephew is gonna die here.
Yeah, that's right. He seems pretty clueless. I don't know. I'm just fascinated by the fact that he's looking like on his, like the other way around on his binoculars. To me, he's kind of looking like through the looking glass or something. He's just like so far away. I think he's looking at real life from the wrong end, really. So who knows what's up with him, but I very much enjoy having him there.
Well, apparently he's gotten his foot back because he's able to run around.
I know, but he was a few times, I don't know, a few episodes ago, he was running also. So I don't know, it's an on and off thing with his foot. I just really can't wait to know what's happening with that foot, though. Whose foot is it?
Are we ever even going to find out? Or were these just outtake scenes that Lynch shot and just stuck them in here?
It's hard to tell.
Yeah. I have to say, once again, that Kyle MacLachlan is just killing it in every one of these roles. I mean, I love him as the villain here.
Definitely. For some reason today, I was thinking I would love to see Bad Cooper wearing like sweatpants or something. That would be so out of character. But Kyle is such a good actor. I'm sure like he would still be a perfect villain.
I still think that if he's the doppelganger and Bob's inside of him, if Bob is still inside of him.
I don't think so.
Yeah, because for him to say in the mirror, "Are you still with me?" that seems to suggest at some point Bob won't be with him.
Yeah, right? I think it's when he got shot, when we saw the woodsman digging, like you actually see Bob within their hands. So I feel like maybe Bob is in the convenience store.
But the doppelganger is pretty strong for just being a doppelganger. You know, I mean, he arm wrestled that guy and punched him right through the head. So
yeah, it's true. You don't see much of a difference with or without Bob.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
So here's Richard on top of a stone here, and goodbye. It's been nice knowing you. Notice how when he fries, you don't see like a golden orb flying into the air.
Well, we do see a shooting star though in the back. I just saw it there. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Just before Jerry takes his binoculars again, you see a shooting star.
Oh wow. Is it already happened?
It's just his head. Oh, maybe we're like out of sync for a few seconds, but it's just his head floating before he disappears.
Right. Yeah.
Like the opposite of Major Briggs.
Well, and the woodsman head floating out of the jail cell in part 1, right?
True.
And that's why I think it's good that James and Freddie are in the cell, because maybe Freddie can start punching out the woodsman.
Yeah. God, I wish I could see that.
I think we will. There's a reason. There's a reason why they're in. They didn't just casually end up in the holding cell. The universe is putting them in place.
Totally.
Okay, so here comes a thing that a lot of Twin Peaks fans are discussing: the fact that he writes "happy face all" to Diane. Twin Peaks fans that we love to analyze every little detail. Is he saying that he wants all of the coordinates, or is he saying kill them all? I think it's probably both.
Exactly. At first, I thought it's the coordinates, but now I think it's everything and nothing that he's saying.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he adds the smile because when the Diane Tulpa is saying that speech about how he smiled at
Yeah.
me being so scared, I think it just adds extra creepiness
Yeah,
to
and
it.
maybe that triggered her as well to react like she did and to become so afraid.
Right. Okay, Hutch and Chantel. To
Nice.
me, two of my favorite characters of of this series. But they are it's so interesting because they seem like I mean, yeah, it's David Lynch, but these scenes easily could have been outtakes from like a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Definitely. It's like Reservoir Dogs or something.
Well, and these two just came off The Hateful Eight with Quentin Tarantino. So, but I adore all these scenes. A lot of people have been yelling at me because during the initial reaction video with Hal, I said that, oh yeah, they live in Rancho Rosa, and people are like, they don't live in Rancho Rosa. They live in another community. Okay. It just all looks the same to me.
Yeah.
It's supposed to just all be this kind of sameness.
Yeah. What's the name of the street? Lancelot.
Right, Lancelot Court, which is down the street from Merlin's Market, right? And I think there's another reference in there too. And I think in the remember in the second season finale, they talk about Glastonbury Grove and the burial place of King Arthur and all that. So
There's a lot of fairy tales and old tales,
right,
like imagery at least.
right. So a lot of people, of course, venture out to the Laura Palmer house in Everett, Washington. I wonder how many people are going to make their trek now to the Dougie house and stand there with a green suit and look up at the sky and hope to see a CGI owl flying over their head.
Yeah, right. It is
We've,
always
we've
birds.
only seen like one owl in this whole series.
When was that? I can't remember.
Part 3, when Dougie first got home, he looked up in the sky and there was an owl that flew over him.
Oh yeah, and there was one in his kitchen as well, like a little
Right.
decoration.
Right. Well, the owls are definitely not what they seem when they give you chocolate chip cookies. So now this guy, poor Wilson. I mean, he just gets yelled at every second of the day.
I know, right? He's gonna have a long, difficult career ahead of him.
People are saying that they found the Jackrabbit's Palace. I keep saying Jackrabbit Slim. That's another Tarantino reference from Pulp Fiction. Jackrabbit's Palace, and they're saying they also found the Stephen suicide tree, if he is indeed dead. I'm sure he is.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that Becky is dead or alive? Do you have a theory on that?
I don't have. I have a guess, but I don't have a theory. I think she might be dead.
Seriously though, I'm not trying to be mean, but what worthless characters are those two? Then I mean, what was the point of them?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I know what you mean. They're not. Well, there must be a purpose at some point.
Sure, but I'm just saying, as of right now, I don't see one.
Yeah, except for showing how the youth in Twin Peaks is just suffering so much right now.
Right. But at least Amanda Seyfried didn't have that horrible rash.
Yeah, right.
Now, and these are other characters. I mean, listen. I love Naomi Watts. I love Janie E. But I didn't think I was going to adore her and Sonny Jim as much as I have as the series has gone on. And by this point, I think they're great characters. I love Bushnell Mullins, and whoever thought the Mitchum brothers would be so awesome? Because you know what, when you heard of Nepper and Belushi being cast as gangsters, I kept thinking, okay, we're gonna get like a Mr. Eddie type of thing from like Lost Highway. They are completely the opposite of how I expected Lynch to use these two actors.
They are so entertaining. They crack me up every time. They're like huge kids, like
Right.
gigantic babies.
The moment they found out that Dougie, was indeed on their side, I mean, they've just been completely 100% supportive.
Yeah. And I feel like they have a point in being in Twin Peaks as well. Just the fact that Belushi had dreams about the cherry pie. I mean, it seems like he's got one of those minds that will be useful in some
This
extent.
is my theory. I think by the end of the series, the Mitchum brothers own the Great Northern Hotel.
Oh yeah, I heard you say that.
Yeah.
Well, I just hope they don't turn Twin Peaks into Vegas though, because then I think they'd be in so much more trouble. You
Right.
know, like the cherry pie won't taste the same at the casino.
That's what season 4 is about, right?
Yeah, maybe. And then
uh,
like if they become like such good friends with Dougie,
yeah.
like they murder people for a living. So
What do you
that's
think about this
tricky.
theory that like Candy is gonna be, uh, I don't know, like Laura or Annie or So I'm like, I don't know. I think Candy is Candy.
Yeah, I think I was saying that on one of my videos this week, but I think Candy, if she didn't have that job, she would probably turn out to be exactly like 119. Like
Right. Are we ever
they
gonna
put,
get 119 lady back? And it's just her screaming 119 with red balloons everywhere. And
yeah, what about those red balloons? And what was under that? Like, what was this statue under that big blanket? You know, and
yeah,
where Dougie worked?
right.
I want to see what's underneath that. Cole looking at the machine. I feel like the machines are like a symbol for his brain going like beep beep beep.
I think he's getting in tune with the room because he's going to have to be highly perceptive to know that Diane is coming. Because if they are tapping her phone and knowing the text coming in,
Yeah.
they have to be aware that something is happening.
And also that's like I guess that's the same timeline as when the vortex is opening in Twin Peaks. So I feel like there must be a lot of activity in the cosmos right now.
Right. I remember somebody contacted me saying that they think that wouldn't it be cool if the three girls with the Mitchum brothers are actually their bodyguards? And that may, because I mean, there's been a lot of theories like, well, Candy can't just be Candy, right? I mean, she's a secret FBI agent, correct?
I don't
And I'm
think
like,
so.
I think at this point, probably not.
They just want to make sure they always have the best finger sandwiches at their hands, so they bring the girls along. These,
Right.
I mean, they're so sad, these girls, but they're happy, but it's like I don't know, they're fascinating. And you can feel they're really inspired by like French paintings, like the ballet dancers from Degas and other people that inspired David Lynch. Like you can feel that circus ballet vibe through them.
I really like this moment where Bushnell's like, what are you talking about? The FBI is looking for him. He's in a
He's in a
coma.
coma.
Like he's so bewildered by who is this Dougie guy? Well, he's about to find out Dougie is more than he seems.
Do you think that it's his boxing game that we see Sarah watch and loop? I think so.
Yeah, probably. Although, here's a theory I have. Okay. Again, this may be proved otherwise. I'm thinking because we're gonna have to like figure out timelines ourselves, right? Pretty probably by the time this thing's over. I'm thinking when Cooper is in the coma, I'm thinking that's when he's talking to the giant.
Ooh, interesting.
Because when he opens his eyes, he shoots right up and knows like he's got to go and do something. Because I don't know. I mean, there's a possibility he might go to see the giant in the final 2 episodes, but I'm thinking they may not do that, and we may have to think it's when he was in this coma at this point.
That's interesting. I saw a video. They were pointing out that he has a FBI pin in that scene, but not in the other scene in the red room with Laura. So, but now I'm thinking in the coma he's wearing like a hospital gown. so I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see.
Now this is a scene that nobody saw coming, but I think it's just absolutely perfect in terms of just the comedy of errors that happens here between Hutch and Chantel, and the Mitchum brothers arriving and the FBI arriving, and then this like Polish guy needed to use his driveway. It's so ridiculous, but it's so perfectly pitched and played and written and directed and act. You know what I mean? It's like because you're just watching this all unfold. And by the time the scene is over with the camera, craning up and the FBI's guns on the Polish guy, you're thinking, what a great scene we just saw.
Yeah.
In fact,
it's curious. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I was just saying that, you know, their deaths, I feel like come to a natural conclusion, whereas like Mr. Todd in Vegas, we're gonna be left wondering like, what the heck was all that about?
Right.
And it reminds me of Michael J. Anderson in Mulholland Drive. You know, when he's sitting in that chair behind the glass, like, you know, you still don't know what all that was about.
You know, I find it very interesting how Hodge, uh, he's talking about this guy who died, and it's almost like foreshadowing. It's like he woke up with that feeling, like he's like, "Did you hear this bird this morning?"
But
So it feels like
did you catch the name he says?
I can't remember.
He
I'm bad
said
with like
he says Sammy. Now,
who's that?
I think it's nobody in terms of what we know, but of course there's connections everywhere. Sammy, or Sam, was the name of the guy with Tracy who died in part 1 watching the glass box. And we know the doppelganger does have a connection to that glass box. But what the heck would Hutch be doing knowing this college kid? But he says, "Did you hear that Sammy died?"
Huh.
And that was this is after the glass box, presumably.
Yeah, yeah.
So I wonder if there is that connection, or if we're just supposed to thematically connect it.
I'm not sure. I love this bit with
Yeah,
the Polish guy.
because honestly, when he says we're not in your driveway, I immediately was on Hutch's side. Like, why would they draw attention to themselves and park in front of someone's driveway? They're
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to
they're
be,
professionals.
you know, yeah, exactly.
I don't think I think I heard you say you think he's just like a weird neighbor
Mm.
from that crazy neighborhood. I It could be, that would be very funny, but I feel like he might also be one of those international agents. Like maybe he met the giant in Poland at some point. He's like, yeah, it's my destiny to go like kill some motherfuckers in Las Vegas 25 years from now.
I love the fact that his last name is with a Z, and when Tracy's bringing him the coffee, there's Z's on her coffee. So
Huh.
there's connecting letters and numbers, obviously, through this whole thing.
I even looked up this name, like the meaning of the name and how many. I know there are some of those
The
in the state of Washington.
yeah, what the name they call him, douchebag, that name.
No, there's a Waski or something like his
Oh
last name. I know maybe there's a meaning hidden somewhere, but Google has no definition for that name. But it's a real name though.
yeah. Well, of course, the Polish connection reminds you of Inland Empire, and
I haven't seen that.
you
I
haven't
need
seen
to.
Inland Empire?
Mm-mm.
Watch it after this series. I mean, it's very different than a lot of Lynch's work, but it does have a lot of connections of the storytelling of this series, in terms of like, you don't know which timeline you're watching, or
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, and even yesterday I was watching Mulholland Drive again. Just
Mm.
I want to get away from those episodes because I've been so much in it. I'm getting lost sometimes.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to take a step back and look at other things for inspiration.
I've actually haven't made a lot of videos outside of Twin Peaks this entire summer, and I've enjoyed every second of living in this world, because you know, it's been a long time. It's been over 25 years since I've been fully immersed into like a cinematic TV universe, and I decided, you know, this is a special summer, and I was just gonna devote everything to Twin Peaks this summer, and I'm glad I have. I mean, this show is so different from seasons 1 and 2, but it's its own thing, and I love it for what it is. And you know, a lot of people complain for what it's not, but I think over time people will enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't care if they think that. I mean, they have the right to react this way, but for me, it's a gift. I feel so privileged to be born in that era, so I can witness that. And I've said it before, but my goal is to remain alive for 2 more days. After that, hopefully, it will last for some more, even for
Yeah,
season 4. But if I die tomorrow, like,
not tomorrow.
come
It's
on.
tomorrow, Saturday.
Well, exactly. If I die tomorrow, then it's like, oh my God, 1 day away from the finale.
I'll
That
tell
would
you
be
one
really
thing: if
cruel.
if you died tomorrow, the giant would appear to you and show you the finale.
I hope so. Just like just like Andy looking up, yeah, in black and white.
Yeah, I'm curious how Andy's vision is going to play into these final 2 episodes. And are we going to see the Bookhouse Boys? You know,
I don't think so.
well, the actor who plays Joey Paulson from the pilot is in the credits.
Hmm.
So who knows? I mean,
I
is
hope
Wally
so then.
Brando gonna be leading the Bookhouse Boys to like fight the Woodsman?
We need more Wally. I love Wally's. We've seen like 30 seconds of him, but there've been major seconds. Like
Yeah.
Twin Peaks needs Wally. It's the only like sensical young man out there, I feel.
So we have Bushnell hearing the noise from the Great Northern Hotel, and he wanders out of the hospital room, and then the one-armed man appears. So I don't think the one-armed man is making that noise in the Great Northern. So it's probably another connection, either Josie or Laura or somebody having to do with the lodge that has a similar like spiritual presence.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it's Josie personally.
I would love it to be Josie. I think there's that it's just the obvious connection, and I think they need to deal with those plot threads that they left dangling, even if it's just kind of an acknowledgement of the plot threads. They don't have to conclude it, they just have to acknowledge it. That it's continuing. I love that the fact that the one-armed man kind of voices what everyone was thinking when he says, "Finally, you're awake."
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay, so here's something I didn't notice the first time I saw this episode. And of course, everyone says, "How could you not have seen it?" But I'm so into the moment, I'm not noticing that Kyle puts the ring under the pillow.
Yeah, I did notice that.
And then he gets up and tells Bushnell, "Hey, if Gordon Cole calls, read him this note." So, but he says, if Gordon Cole calls. So how is he can be certain that someone else is who he's going to find is is going to find the ring? You know what I mean? Because he didn't take the ring with him. It doesn't look like it, at least.
I thought that I assumed he took the ring, although we didn't see it. But then I saw some guy online say, well, sometimes they go to the toilet and we don't see it. So I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. So maybe he's got it in his pocket.
Yeah, then why would he stick it under the pillow?
Well, then it's just going to be taken by some nurse and put into the laundry.
No, the nurse. But we had a nurse take the ring from Annie in the missing piece.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, what happened to that lady, I wonder?
I don't know. But I love the fact that Cooper gives a hair from his self to give to the one-armed man. So obviously they need to make another Dougie from the good Cooper. So he's not going to be a slouch, a gambler, womanizer, that type of thing that the bad Cooper made. So my question is, will he send this new Dougie to be with Janie E and Sonny Jim, and that's their happy ending, or do you think Lynch is going to perhaps leave it open where we don't know if Cooper or the the new Dougie went back to? I think he may leave it open to not know which one went back.
He may, because I think I'm personally split with that theory. Like I believe when he says that he loves them and he wants to take care of them, and I think it would be a pretty like not so great move to just be like, oh, I'll just get like a mail ordered myself and give it to you, so you're too dumb to realize that I'm not there anymore. Like it's kind of weird, and he's got such a sense of duty. I can't imagine him going back to really have a family, but then I don't want to. Personally, I want him to find Annie and go live in Twin Peaks and fish.
Okay, exactly. So here's the thing. He went in to rescue Annie from the Black Lodge. He's been stuck in the Black Lodge. Then he's come out. He's a Dougie, and now he wakes up. His main goal at this moment needs to be to stop the doppelganger and find Annie.
Yeah.
Because you can't just have this love in your life and then you just wake up and you just go, well, screw that person. Who cares what happened to her?
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to deal with it. Okay. Heather Graham may not show up, but they've already introduced her in this new series by bringing in the quote unquote diary entries from the bathroom stall with Annie's name on it. So they've already introduced her in this new series. So they're not pretending Annie didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to have to deal with it. And I think the way you have to deal with it would be Linda. Now, of course, who knows? But I think it's perfect if they have the doppelganger make one kid and the good Cooper make the other kid, just like he's having the good Cooper here making the new Dougie. Right. So they're differentiating the fact that it's one does this, you get this kind of product, and one does this, you get another kind of product.
Yeah.
I love the fact I never expected the Mitchum brothers to be like, we're flying to Spokane. Like I never thought they'd come along on this journey. But
Well, what else have they got to do? They never
no,
really
but
do much.
did you ever think when watching the series that the Mitchum brothers were going to tag along the Twin Peaks with
No,
Cooper?
and for a while I was thinking maybe he'll bring Janie E and Sunny to Twin Peaks, and that would have felt really unnatural.
And see, I was scared that Janie E and Sonny Jim were going to be offed, and that would allow Cooper to go to Twin Peaks. Like I would wake him up.
Oh, man.
But that obviously didn't happen. Now we just get Cooper driving away in his new car.
Yeah, FBI. Yeah. He's so hot when he's driving.
He's so hot. He's so hot when he's driving.
He's hot. Yeah. I mean, compared to Dougie, he's just like, move over, I'm driving. And I don't know. It's just really refreshing.
So you definitely like a take charge kind of guy.
Well, when it's Dale Cooper, yeah. It's
okay.
nice. It's just like done perfectly well.
It's like, you know, a lot of things with women. It's like, you know, if they like you, they'll tolerate a lot more.
Yeah, but he means well. That's it. You know, he's a good person. If he was a jerk and he would say that, you know, that would be different.
See, this thing would be great if it was like Leo Johnson coming out of the hospital, like, move over, Shelly. We got some floors to clean when we get back.
Oh man, Leo.
I miss Leo. I wish they would do like a pan across Wyndham Earl's cabin and see his carcass still holding the the spiders. But anyway, what I was saying though is that I think Bob obviously might or might not be still in the doppelganger, but I think that Bob houses Wyndham Earl's memories because he drained him of his soul. Because the doppelganger had Wyndham Earl's suitcase with him in the motel when he was looking at the schematics for the prison after killing Daria. So I'm wondering if they're gonna. I mean, come on, the last 2 hours they're really gonna throw out a Wyndham Earl thing, but I think it would be a mistake to not mention Wyndham Earl at some point.
I think he's the one who's been impersonating Philip Jeffries over the phone and stuff, and nobody named him so far. So I feel like if someone is impersonating somebody, the first suspect would be Wyndham Earl.
So we see this text was sent to her at 4:31. Obviously, it's 1 minute later than 4:30 that the giant or fireman told Cooper. But we've had a lot of 4:30s in this series so far.
Yeah.
And
this text that we just saw has a dot at the end, and the one she'll get later doesn't have one. When she's meeting Cole.
Oh, she looks down and it's a different text?
There's the last punctuation mark is missing, and the time, it's not the same time anymore. So I'm very, very much confused with that.
Yeah, I honestly, I think two Coopers being out in the world has just thrown the universe into disarray. I mean,
cell phone companies are like losing connection.
Because now it says 16:44, so now it's been 14 minutes since she received the previous text. She's
had like 5 drinks.
Oh my.
And I was convinced that she gave him the coordinates already, but she didn't, so it seems. And I am very much confused how she can almost like channel the real Diane at times and then become this like mean Tulpa.
Well, I think she's a sleeper agent. Like she's just Diane until she gets like triggered by a sane or something, and then she goes into killer mode.
But then if she's a Tulpa, if like when Dale wanted to make a Tulpa, like he gives a piece of his hair and it's how did she make herself a Tulpa, or can somebody else make you? Can I make you a Tulpa right now?
Listen, 2 things. 1, have you ever said the word Tulpa more times in your life? And and 2, is this whole series? I mean, when we get to the Audrey thing, I had people saying to me, "Is she a Tulpa?" Like now, everyone's just thinking everybody's a Tulpa in this thing. So Tulpa's for everybody.
Yeah. Well, the whole of Twin Peaks is a Tulpa, like coming out of David Lynch's head, and in our head, growing like a gigantic Tulpa right now.
Of course, there's a lot of people saying that Twin Peaks comes out of David Lynch's butt, but
Who are those people? We need to have a conversation with them.
People on the Facebook pages that subscribe to Twin Peaks channel pages and they don't like the show. So I'm trying to figure out why they would subscribe to those pages. Anyway.
Yeah, probably because they're tulpas.
Yeah, probably. So I have to say, whoever
you thought she was going to kill them, right?
I thought that they were someone was gonna die. I thought Cole was gonna get it or something.
Me too.
But I have to say, and I've said it before, I never thought that David Lynch would be one of the actors in the series to give one of the most like nuanced performances in this series.
Yeah.
Right. He's just, I mean, he was so great in the original series, but it was kind of a one note kind of joke. I mean, it was cute. I adored it to pieces, but this is, I mean, his Gordon Cole in this new series, in many ways, he's kind of the lead actor throughout this whole series. We've seen him more than we have, Audrey.
You know, one of my predictions, if Dell goes on to remain an FBI agent and live his life finally, I think his destiny is to become the next Cole, because they're both like so intuitive, and who knows what Golden Cole has lived. Like maybe he spent a while in some kind of a red room himself. Like I feel like he's going to be a master FBI, whatever bureaucratic position at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the same person, but different.
Now, a lot of people have said that Diane, of course, is Naito because she does appropriate so much Asian culture in her dress.
Yeah.
And
maybe it's just a red herring as well, And
there's a lot of those in this series.
Yeah. And those bracelets, I'll never get over those like ketchup and mustard bracelets that she's wearing. I don't get it. I thought like it was a sign she was the one-armed man or something. Or
well, it also reminds me of what the doppelganger says to Phyllis, all right, where he says, you show human behavior quite well, or something, like giving things. Yeah. So human it's almost nature. Human nature. So it's almost like he's created an army of alternate human beings to do his bidding.
I really wonder, like, the mechanics of this. How do they manufacture people? How long, like, the next Dougie or Dale, is he just gonna like appear out of a vortex, or is he gonna come out of an egg?
My question to you is, does Dale Cooper live at the end of the series? I think he does. I think there's a happy ending. A lot of people are saying no, he's gonna give up his life, but then Dougie Cooper is gonna go on.
I can't accept that. No, he needs to have like more than 2 hours of real life before he dies. He deserves it. Yeah, that would be that would be unfair, but who knows?
I love this speech because when Laura Dern is talking, you have Tammy over there like really listening and being empathetic with her, and Albert sitting there like, just make a move, witch. Just make a move.
Yeah. I love Albert. We haven't seen that much of him.
What are you talking about? He's been through this whole series.
Well, yeah, but he's very discreet. I don't know.
Well, we've seen more of him in this series than we did in the original series.
It's true. Maybe I'm just getting like too attached to him, and now I need more of him.
Well,
it's not going to happen.
Well, sadly, he passed away.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know what? I don't know if this is Laura Dern's last performance in this series, but I think she was really good in the series. I think she's very strong in when she was introduced. I think she's very strong here. There was a couple episodes where she just showed up and said "F you," and that was it. And I remember thinking, I don't know, like there was a couple episodes where I felt like her character was a little bit just kind of at a standstill because they didn't really do anything in that scene. And it became kind of a one-note joke, for a while, but then it all comes around full circle here and stuff like that. So, this is a great scene, and it's almost because like this is not what this woman experienced. This is what Diane experienced.
Exactly.
And she makes the illusion that Diane was taken to the convenience store, and this one was created. But
then where did the other one go,
Well, she's probably trapped in the lodge with Chet Desmond and everybody else because they love to collect FBI agents, these people, this Black Lodge.
But then if she's in the lodge, why is she talking about the sheriff station, At first, I even thought maybe with the letters, maybe she's saying I'm at Jeffrey's station, like gas station. But
She
I
might
don't
be.
know.
She might be. I mean,
I
anything.
also think she
I
could
mean,
be trapped in the phone lines of the sheriff station on line 1 flashing.
she could be trapped in Monica Bellucci's head.
Well, she would be in France then, having a coffee in black and white.
Another thing I'm noticing that Albert and Cole have the FBI pins on, and was it Cooper doesn't have the pin, or he does have the? I can't remember when he's talking to the giant off the top of my head.
Um,
I
from
think
what I saw, he has it
he
with the
has it.
giant,
Right.
but not in the red room. And those guys, in some episodes, they had the pin, and then they had the flag and the FBI, and sometimes they just had the flag.
Right. So you're right. There's no period at the end of that. So
And the time is different as well. I think it's 1550. So I'm the
okay,
whole.
look. This is not like continuity errors.
No,
This
it's not.
is purposely done. I mean, and we knew that from, especially when we saw that scene in the diner when the when the all the people were changing places in the diner, and even Shelley turns around and notices it. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Through this entire
Yeah.
series. And I really hope. I mean, look, they don't have to give us everything, but I really hope they explain something. Like, there's been a time, this whole Jupiter and Saturn, in conjunction has like flipped the whole world, where the axis of the Earth has been completely flopped or so. I don't know, just give me something. You don't have to tell. And it is weird how when Albert pulls his gun out, Tammy's not there, and then they do the 2-shot of Tammy there. Like, it's very obvious she's not in his like.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, it's very obvious that she's not there. And again, it makes me wonder: this is gonna be a Tulpa parade by the end of this series, like where it's gonna be like Blade Runner, where Tammy's like, I'm actually a Tulpa. Gordon Cole created me.
I think it would almost be too obvious because Krista Bell, her style of acting and her personality, she gives her like a bit of an alien vibe, like a beautiful alien vibe.
Yeah, she reminds me of Lisa Marie in Mars Attacks or something. Or Lisa Marie also played Vampira in Ed Wood, and that's what she definitely reminded me of earlier in this series. But
I think
all right,
she's great.
of course we're gonna get Laura Dern in the Red Room, right? I mean, I just always assumed that she would be. You're not. If you're a David Lynch actor and you're in Twin Peaks and he adores you, you end up in the Red Room at some point.
It's your trophy.
Yeah, it's your trophy. We're gonna crack your jaw open and make a golden marble come out of your head.
The fact that she says, I know that I was manufactured, does that mean that Dougie knew as well? I'd be surprised if he knew anything.
Yeah, he was just too busy saying, that's weird. Now, what's really strange is in the credits, Al Strobel here is credited as Philip Gerard, not Mike. But Philip Gerard was who he was out in the Earth plane. And
Yeah,
he's supposed to be Mike.
I think that's on purpose. The same thing with Eddie Vedder. When he comes on stage, they introduce him with his real name, and I was like, is that his real name? I wasn't sure I thought his real name was Eddie Vedder.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's almost like the Tulpa persona thing. Like he's credited with his artistic name for playing himself in a fiction work. I think they're playing with that.
Okay, so were you one of these people that when they saw Cooper saying goodbye to Janie and St. Jim, were you tearing up? Were you getting sad?
I was getting emotional, yeah. Because it's truly beautiful. And I think, at first I thought she was a bit weird, Janie E, but she's such a good person. She's actually like the best mom ever. She took responsibility when she was stuck with that idiot Dougie and the first one and then the weird zombie Dougie. And I think she means so well. Like she deserves to have that, even though she's not a Twin Peaks person
There's a
at
lot of
all.
people though that don't like her because they think that she raped Dougie because he couldn't consent.
Well,
how do you feel about those people?
I mean, I'm all for consent, but in that case, it just doesn't apply. Dougie was very happy to be there for sure. And I mean, he's always like this. He's always unconscious. So
He's always unconscious.
You know, by his standard, he was agreeing to
Okay,
have sex.
do you think that Sonny Jim is was sent by the fireman as well? Because he seems like very wise. You know, he's like laughing at Dougie in the kitchen at breakfast, and the first words he says to Dougie is about brushing his teeth, which is really funny considering that that's what the doppelganger said. They had to brush.
But then kids always talk about brushing their teeth. You know, like it's like one of the 5 tasks they have to do during the day. I think he's just a good, wise kid who hasn't been spoiled by the world so far.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I always feel like calling him Sunny D, like the orange drink.
Sunny D. Well, he is wearing a yellow coat.
Exactly. But in my mind, it's the first thing that pops up. It's like, oh, it's Sunny D's here. But I don't know. Like, they need to have a good father figure for, and she needs to have a good husband as well. She's a good person. I feel really bad for them if Dougie just sends his tulpa. It's kind of like, you guys are such idiots. You're idiots. You won't even see the difference. Like,
but at least Lynch allows her to say, "Whoever you are, you know, thank you." So she is aware at this point that Dougie is gone and this is a different person.
Well, I hope she realized that. I mean, it's been a big change in their household in the last couple of hours.
Even if he doesn't come back, which we know he will at some point. I mean, she has like $420,000. You know, she owns this house. She has a brand new car. The Mitchum brothers are probably going to take care of them forever.
She seems pretty materialistic to me. She's been like talking about how their dreams are coming true, but really thinking about having a car and a fabulous gym set. And so, you know, I feel like she's a little bit.
Hey, that gym set was very swanky. It came with its own spotlight.
It was. I mean, if Michael Jackson had a gym set, that would be the one, you know?
Right. And Sonny Jim was bouncing around like the little jumping boy in Fire Walk with Me. Now, this is something that I didn't notice, but Hal did on the initial watch because that's just what Hal is. He notices these kind of things. The fact that there's a scarab right there.
I noticed that, but I didn't know it was an insect. I thought, is this the sign, like the kind of beef jerky sign? But no, it's actually just an insect.
Well, Hal was saying it means rebirth. So
yeah, Egyptian, yeah.
Obviously, that would make sense. Obviously, what's going on here? Candy.
I can't believe they have a coffee machine in that limo.
I know. They seem pretty cramped to be making drinks.
Oh, man. It's too funny. There's something about those guys. Like, it's a very strange bunch of people mixed together, but they're hilarious.
Again, it's very unpredictable. You know, you never thought that all these people would be going. We're going to Twin Peaks. Like Candy's going to Twin Peaks. Like,
isn't it cold in Twin Peaks? I mean, usually near the woods, it's kind of chilly. You need like a little like vest or something. So those girls are going to be cold.
Those three need to do a remake of Legally Blonde.
Well, you know how Melania Trump was like blamed for wearing those heels with the floods. Imagine them in Twin Peaks with that. Like, we should change their shoes as well. Like rain boots. And I heard theories about Candy. She should be getting together with Wally. I think they're the opposite of one another.
Well, who knows? I mean, if Albert actually went on a date in this season, you know.
Yeah, it's true. I forgot about that.
Anything can happen here.
True. But I don't think she could get away from her sisters. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, okay, so we're at the Roadhouse now, and obviously this is the Eddie Vedder song, but let's discuss the Audrey phenomenon here. So both Ben Horn, Sylvia Horn, and obviously Johnny, nobody has mentioned Audrey once in this series.
Yeah.
And yet here she is for the last couple episodes talking to Charlie. Why do you think that nobody has mentioned her? Like, not even when Frank Truman goes to visit Richard Horn and say, you know, your grandson hit that child. He doesn't say, how's Audrey?
Yeah.
You know your grandchild, Audrey's son. How is she doing? There's just no mention of her.
I feel like there's a huge stigma around her. So that's why I'm thinking there's probably something with mental disease involved there, or
But do you think it is? Because I mean, my initial watch, it seems like obvious, like okay, she's in a mental institution, but a mental institution wouldn't have that kind of mirror, in a
I
room.
thought, yeah, of course.
And
Yeah, she would commit suicide.
there's
Well,
so much electricity
yeah,
vibes going on.
yeah. Well, I have actually a few theories
Okay.
that are very confused as always, but the mirror for me is kind of an allusion to Alice in Wonderland, and looking uh, through the looking glass. I mean, I feel like she's inside an inception of worlds right now. It's probably all in her head, and I think the electricity you mentioned, it's probably an allusion to electroshock treatments that she might be getting there. And of course, if you shoot electricity like in your brain, you might be traveling worlds and going to the roadhouse in spirit. Um, so I feel like she's a bit like Alice, like lost in her own imagination right now. And I was looking, and she doesn't have a ring. She says that Charlie is her husband supposedly, but she doesn't wear a ring on that finger. And also, I looked it up, and Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland, and I mean, I don't think they're doing the Alice story right now, but I think it's part of it. His name is Charles. So is that got something to do with, like, he's this shrink and
Well,
he's writing the story?
in the hospital, in the Dougie hospital scene, Janie E. Sonny Jim asks, "Does the coma have anything to do with electricity?"
Yeah.
And she says no. And then Bushnell says, "In this case, it did." Let me throw you back to season 1,
Mhm.
episode 3, the first script that was not written by Lynch and Frost, the Harley Payton one, the Laura's funeral. And when Harry and Lucy come to the Great Northern to meet with Agent Cooper to find out who killed Laura Palmer after his dream, he says to them, "Do you know where dreams come from, Harry?" And he says, "Not specifically." And Cooper says a word that I cannot even pronounce. Acetylcholine neurons fire high voltage impulses into the forebrain. The impulses become pictures. The pictures become your dream. But no one knows why we choose these particular pictures. Something about fire high voltage impulses.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I
I
think,
think that has something to do with it. But I will be sorely disappointed if this whole thing has been, because someone said to me, "Wouldn't it be cool if like Audrey killed Laura Palmer and Agent Cooper was the man who arrested her, and so she's been making up this whole story in her head to make her the good person,
oh my God.
and she eliminated herself from Fire Walk with Me to take away the guilt."
But we know who killed Laura, don't we?
But she's not in Fire Walk with Me, so interesting theory.
Hmm.
I mean, Lynch didn't even recast that part.
Yeah.
That would drive me insane if that happened. But who knows? I mean, nobody was expecting. Next up, Audrey's dance.
That was insane.
And when the
That's
moment that happens, of course it makes everybody say, "Oh, that means all the Roadhouse scenes have been in Audrey's head, and maybe all the girls at the booth were like nurses in her hospital, and she's overheard all the conversations in her coma, whatever like that." I don't think that's true, because James and Freddie have been
yeah,
arrested and they're in the jail.
exactly.
So obviously this can't all be Audrey's dream. This is
No.
definitely something going on here.
Yeah.
And I think it extends more than just, oh, it's a dream and she's in a mental institution, because like I said, all the voltage stuff, who knows what that's about, but I think it has to do with dreams, and maybe she's stuck in a lodge somewhere, who knows. But the fact that the end credits are her theme backwards, that's
Well, and that goes back to the mirror as well. You know, in the mirror you see backwards. So I kind of feel like all the things we mentioned are happening. Like maybe she's in a coma, but inside her coma, she's living her reality as in she's in a mental institution. And then through that mirror, she's traveling with Charlie to the roadhouse, and she is actually reaching beyond time and space, and she's actually witnessing real things that are happening in the world. And the whole, oh, leave my wife, she's my wife, it reminded me of when James was fighting last week in the bar. At first I thought it was actually the same scene, but it's not, it's someone else. But I
Right.
feel like she's there, like it's dreamlike, but she might be witnessing real things as well, like teletransporting her spirit or something.
I just love the fact that they got all these actors to just sway back and forth, and nobody from this cast like spoiled it. Like
Yeah.
they all kept the secret. And this is
Yeah.
Scott Cameron, David Lynch's longtime first assistant director, coming in with the punch.
He disappeared. Oh, there you are.
And Audrey is like, Charlie, get me out of here. And I mean, this, okay, I have to say, I mean, she looks good. I like Sherilyn Fenn. But when it cuts to the mirror shot, this looks like Audrey we know, not the gussied up one that's at the Roadhouse. It's almost like, I don't know. To me, it seems like she's more
Fragile.
Yeah, she seems like she's de-aged almost. She almost seems like she's 25 in that mirror shot. It's very interesting. But yeah, and it's something I didn't even notice because I was like in shell shock at the end of this episode. I just thought they were just continuing playing the Audrey theme, and of course on the rewatch, I was thinking, oh my god, they're playing it backwards. That's so insane. Of course, everybody else goes, of course they're playing it backwards. You didn't notice that? No, we all noticed different things.
But it's like she is
it.
Exactly. But it's like she almost got out of that mirror, and after that, the song is playing backwards. So I mean, it's really confusing. I can't actually make sense of it, and it's.
Or what do you think about the idea that both Cooper and Audrey seemingly wake up in this episode? It is interesting.
I think she's reaching out, like she's emerging slowly, but I don't feel like she's completely out. I don't think she would wake up like that looking at her mirror, But I feel like she's been processing something, and I feel like we will see her, but I have no idea. Like everything is possible right now.
Okay, so let me throw this out to you. Do you think in your heart of hearts that this series is building up to Cooper and Audrey ending up together? I don't
either, because they've become friends. I feel
I mean, there's no build up to that. If all of a sudden at the end of this next 2 hours, they're like, we're together and we're happy. That would seem like such a fan thing,
super cheesy.
Yeah, and I don't think Lynch and Frost have done everything in their power over this whole series to not cater to the fans, but give the fans still what they want. I can't imagine them just ending it with Cooper and Audrey happy together.
Me neither.
Because Cooper didn't leave the lot. I mean, he went in looking for Annie. He's not going to come out and hook up with Audrey.
Well, especially now that she's like just waking up from a coma or whatever, and I don't know if
that's the best time to date a woman, I have to say.
Well, I don't know if she's aware about the whole Mr. C and Richard, but if she was aware that she's been raped by evil Cooper, I mean, that, even though good Cooper would apologize for this, I'm pretty sure it would change her perception of him. Like, it's a deal breaker when your twin brother rapes you. In a way, it will affect your relationship with the good Cooper as well. So that's, I think Mr. C just
when you put it that way,
Well, yeah, I'm sure that's how Audrey would put it as well.
Wow. Do you remember when Twin Peaks fans were saying like, the doppelganger didn't do that. You're just, you just have a dirty mind, and it's like, well, he's the doppelganger. You're supposed to be evil. He's not going to just go around and, excuse me, Miss Audrey Horne, I mean, he's going to be evil. I mean, the way Kyle shows up at the beginning of this of the series in part 1 with the American woman slowed down, which they echo again for the Diane scene in this episode. He has been Bob for 25 years and nobody is messing with him. He's not stuck in some Leland Palmer having to be in this marriage with this daughter. He's been a lone agent roaming the world doing his thing. And that, I mean, that was like, it was Bob in his element where he always wanted to be a free agent.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, look, it's David Lynch. It's not going to end. It's not going to end. Who knows? I mean, he's been drawing from a lot of his other works. I mean, maybe this is going to end like Dune, where it's going to be, you know, Kyle versus Kyle with, like, you know, blades, and then Gersten Hayward saying he is the Kwisatz Haderach, which of course she played that role in Dune as well when she was like, I don't know what, 4 years old or something like that. But I don't think it's going to come down to like a big like fist fight between these two. I mean, that's so not Lynch's style for the most part, right? I mean,
no, and it doesn't end with Bad Cooper. I mean, the mother, the experiment is still out there. The nuclear bomb is still out there. You know, there are so many more levels of evil than just evil Cooper.
Do you think the Black Lodge gets taken out in this series? Do you think they'll close the door?
I don't think you can close those doors. You know, I think they've always been there under a form or another. I don't think it will be a happy ending like this. It's like, oh, now it's just a world of leprechauns.
You don't think it's going to be a happy ending?
Well, it will be, but it won't be like, oh, this is a fairy tale now, you know, like they lived happily ever after. They will still be bad around them. They just need to navigate around this bad and like defeat it every time.
I honestly think, and of course I'm going to be wrong, but I honestly think Laura is alive at the end of the series.
Yeah,
she's back. I think she's back, and I think they're going to have to, if they're going to do that, like either they let her out as, you know, a middle-aged woman now, or they reverse the time in which she never died. But if they do that, you can't just have her come back with Leland still as Bob, which means they would have to do something so that Bob never could have entered Leland to begin with.
So going back to when he was 12 years old.
Hey, we already went back to the 1940s.
True.
I mean, is it possible that they stop? So Cooper never has to come to town, you know?
Man, I've kind of given up on guessing what's going to happen. By now I'm just like, surprise me, and I know it will happen. I know whatever I think I know I'll be proven wrong, except on some little things.
Yeah, I just don't want to fight between the two, and then he ends up with Janie E at the end of
with a lightsaber.
Yeah. You know, I don't think they're going to give us just like a common ending after 18 hours, but I don't also want, you know, this is the water at the end, and then it just ends like that. I'd be like, what? No, I needed like an actual concrete. I don't care what it is. I just want a concrete ending.
I just want this guy to find a lighter so he can smoke his cigarettes forever. Where does he get his cigarettes? Oh my God. And I was thinking also, you know, the whole scene, in a few episodes ago when Sarah is in the grocery store and she notices the turkey jerky.
You weren't one of those people doing the gobble gobble.
What's that? No.
From Fire Walk with Me, when she's like, I'm like a turkey in the corn. Gobble gobble.
Oh my God, no. But I was thinking, you know, those guys, they actually hang out at the convenience store, and I'm sure there's not a lot of deliveries happening there. So maybe they know like they're gonna be in need of snacks in 2 weeks or so when they go to Twin Peaks. So they actually like made arrangements for the beef jerky and the turkey jerky to be delivered, and that's how Sarah knows they're coming.
So
or not.
Yeah, so maybe the men are coming are not the Woodsmen, but it's the Mitchum brothers.
Oh my God! No, I was thinking about the Woodsmen, but yeah, maybe it's just those brothers like snacking.
Let me throw out the Sarah thing. Do you think that whatever's happened to her has happened in the 25 years since we saw her saying, "I'm in the Black Lodge with Agent Cooper," or do you think they're going to imply that she, by ignoring Leland and Bob in the marriage for so long with Laura, that she was a participant, and so therefore she's just as to blame?
I think I am convinced that every time I say I'm convinced, I realize I'm actually not convinced, but I believe she's the kid with the frog.
Okay.
Whatever. I think she's this
I do
kid.
too. I do too. But a lot of people would tell me that actress is Salvadorian. That's not Grace Zabriskie. And it's like, but David Lynch could have just casted somebody. It doesn't mean that it has to be the same ethnic race. I mean,
Exactly. And I mean, they could look like one another. I don't know. I think it's her. And because she doesn't necessarily come from Twin Peaks itself, I think she met Leland at university a while ago. So it's possible that it's her. And I mean, with everything that's been happening, I feel like it's her. But then again, every time I say that I think something, I know I'm going to be wrong at some point. So I don't know what to think anymore. But I feel as though she's been in denial. She's in denial of the evil that's growing inside of her. So maybe that's why she would marry this guy and stay in a marriage and not react to everything that's happening when she's seeing a white horse like next to her bed and stuff like this. So I think she's been troubled for a while. It's just maybe as she gets older too, and with everything that's happened to her, she can't fight it as well, and it's just taking over her now. And now for some reason that thing is like doing the dishes in her kitchen or something.
either that or maybe the blackness inside is just Lynch giving us the the craziest lung cancer commercial, for smoking.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I'll think about that one. It's a good theory. I don't think he's against smoking though. He loves smoking so much. I'm sure it'll just be like, do you have a light?
Yes, there's this great meme going around of Dick Tremaine from the original series where he's in the conference room and he says, "Got a light," and people are throwing that out there. Like, no, they did not plan this from the very beginning, but they could have been planning this frog moth thing. That's for sure, from 1991.
Seriously.
Because I don't know if you know this or not, but when Fire Walk with Me was going to be made, not the final shooting draft, but one of the initial rough drafts that they did, and they had to crank out the script pretty fast because they turned this film around within a year of the season 2 ending in June. It came out in May of 92, so they wrote, filmed, and edited and released a movie within 11 months of the season 2 ending. But one of the initial scripts had to do with nuclear testing. And these bugs crawled under like a table, like a Formica table, and that was the birth of the Black Lodge or something of that effect. Now, obviously, that's not what happened, but there's elements of that have been ported over into this series. So, Can you imagine if Part 8 had been like, instead of the Teresa Banks prologue, if Part 8 had been the prologue to Fire Walk with Me, and then going from that to Laura Palmer walking down the sidewalk, that would have just blown everybody's minds.
I don't know if the 90s were ready for that yet.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
so. I
not
think
sure.
Lynch had to grow into that, I think, a little bit more. But yeah. So, all right, guys, we're going to take some final questions before we go because it's very late where she is right now. But for anyone tuning in, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule Friday night and watching this with us. Pineapple Squid says, I think the end will be a 2-hour-long zoom out of Twin Peaks to the edge of the universe to reveal a fetus with Bob's face.
I like how crazy people get with their theories. It's wonderful.
Yes, I agree. So yeah, guys,
would they film that by like with a drone going into space?
Yeah. Wicked Scott says, I can't believe the little teen from Fast Times at Richmond High is Chantel. Oh, come on. Have you not followed Jennifer Jason Leigh's career? The more drug addicted, sex addicted, more torturous her character is, like the hotter she gets in movies. It's really fun. And it's funny that you mentioned Fast Times at Richmond High, because something I've been talking about for 5 years was David Lynch was one of the initial directors of Fast Times at Richmond High until he got the script and said, yeah, Universal, I don't think this is my type of movie. Can you imagine David Lynch directing Spicoli? George Ray says, Cameron, if there is no mention of Annie, will that ruin the series for you? Annie has already been mentioned. But yes, I will be a little sad that they don't deal with it.
Well, especially if Linda is her daughter and they completely ignore the mother, that would be very strange.
Yeah, I honestly think that if they make Linda Annie and Cooper's daughter, I will be ecstatic because that to me is just perfect. And if they don't do that, I will be shocked because it's like they had perfection right there in their face to do it.
But she lives in a trailer park and she's got a wheelchair. It must be complicated to navigate around that.
Well, it's funny that she had the wheelchair, and then there was a future episode called "This Is the Chair," and we all thought it was going to be about Linda. We were wrong.
Yeah, for a change.
For a change, we've been wrong this whole time.
Just kidding.
This whole series. George says, yes, I had a dream about your Linda theory, so I'm rooting for it. Cool.
Whoa.
That's super awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. Reggie says, how did Lynch get offers for Fast Times and Star Wars after Eraserhead? He only got offered Return of the Jedi after The Elephant Man, not after Eraserhead. And same thing with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. They didn't watch Eraserhead and then offer it to him. You want to take on Spicoli? All of a sudden, Mr. Hand disappears, and you get in heaven, everything is fine. Let's see. Addison says, is Dale Cooper going to die in the finale, especially if he and Dougie cannot coexist together? No, it's him and the doppelganger that can't coexist together. It's not.
And yet
Dougie.
They do right now.
Well, we're gonna overlook that inconsistency there. George Ray says, I want to see a Lynchian edit of Return of the Jedi. No, you don't. No, you don't. You had nothing to do with that movie. All the Ewoks would be talking backwards.
Oh my god. That would be cool. Dancing and jumping.
Princess Leia.
I'd watch that. Actually, and Eddie Vedder, he had this Indiana Jones vibe with his little hat on. So anyway, just going back to Han Solo.
Yeah, that's true. Who was hotter in this episode, Cooper or Eddie Vedder? Dale.
Cooper. Of course, it's Cooper.
Rand says, back in the first few episodes, I thought the 119 druggy mom was Linda. That would have been sad and depressing. Jesus.
But 119 is actually a code that has got to do with some nuclear. I'm not going to get into details because I am not a physicist, but it's one of the nuclear things they haven't been able to reach yet, but they're working on it right now. Probably like North Korea is working on it right now. So it's interesting that she would yell that.
Yeah, let me interrupt you right there and just say I'm glad North Korea has not fired a nuclear missile yet.
Exactly.
Because I needed to see the end of Twin Peaks first.
Exactly. Can you imagine the irony if, like, right when we were watching it, like, there's a bomb going on? That would be like Lynch being God or something.
Wilton says, please mention the owl cave tattoo on Audrey's arm. Okay, I have to be honest. I haven't seen it. Is it there? I heard it's there, but is it really the owl cave tattoo, or is it just like Sherilyn Fenn's tattoo of something?
I haven't noticed. I just looked at her rings. I remember yesterday, or I heard I heard that, but I haven't noticed.
Right.
It's weird. Like, why would you get a tattoo when you're in a coma or in a mental institution?
Well, that's the best time to get a tattoo is when you're incoherent. Addison says, who is with Bad Coop in that picture of the glass box? Honestly, I always thought it was either Charlie or the guy that co-authored the website with Bill Hastings. I don't know. I mean, maybe we won't know. I don't know, but it, because some people have said the glass box. Oh, is that to capture Cooper? But I think it was an attempt for the doppelganger, whoever, to capture Mother. I
don't know. I hope we get some answers about this, about what happened in New York. Because, and who's the millionaire? Maybe it's Billy Zane, you know, who knows?
As I've said many times before, if it turns out to be Lana Milford, I will puke Garmin Bozia on this podcast.
On your podcast, Jesus, will it go into people's earring or?
No, it just the podcast will begin with me just puking cream corn for about 5 minutes on camera. So
that's
please,
okay. It's original.
Yeah. Wilton says it's confirmed the tattoo is there. Cindy says no, that's Sherilyn Fenn's tattoo. It's an tattoo. Let's see here. George says if that happens, make a lot of cream corn and mix it with some oil. I'm not gonna eat oil, but I don't think Lana Milford's gonna make it. If Lana Milford makes an appearance or gets a mention in this series, and Annie Blackburn doesn't, yeah, there's gonna be more than Garmin Bozia coming out of my mouth that night. I'll be screaming from the yeah.
Do you think they might be keeping the Annie intrigues for season 4 if there is a season 4? I think if there is a season 4, unless she's dead or something, I think there's going to be, gotta be there.
There's definitely going to be people wanting season 4 because we're getting Cooper at the very end of this series. But again, we don't know how it ends, so we don't know the resolution here. Addison says, what does Ronette Pulaski have to do with the Purple Room and Mother coming? Well, she's not known as Ronette Pulaski in the series. I mean, even though it says American Girl.
American Woman, yeah.
Or American Woman, whatever it is. I don't know. Katrina says, Lucy does that Annie I thing that she did in the lodge with Earl and Dale. What's the Annie I thing? Huh. Rand Martin says, one of the Twin Peaks videos has the theory that the real Diane is the 911 operator at the sheriff's station. Well, you're welcome for that, because I'm the one that spread that yesterday. It wasn't my idea. A viewer sent that to me and said, Cameron, you have to share this. And I was like, yeah, I kind of do. I want to create that conversation. It's funny. People really like flipped out about it. Good and bad.
If it was her, though, instead of going through Diane's tulpa to tell those guys she's at the sheriff station, like, why doesn't she just turn around to Hawk and be like, hey, what's up? I'm Diane. Or, if she needs help, like,
she might not know. She might be carrying Diane inside of her, but not have actually be Diane.
The whole mechanics of tulpas is very intriguing to me, like how we make them, how they can be controlled by or channeling other beings.
I'm telling you right now, if I could create a tulpa, there'd be one going to my job every day so I could have the day off.
Yeah, but how do you make them? Like, you just let them.
Well, if I had hair, I would pull it out of my head and tell the one-armed man, "You got that seed, right? All right, go make one."
Yeah, but I want to see that scene. I want to see him, like, I don't know, take some Garmin Bozia and like let the seed soak for 12 hours and then it grows into a new Cooper or something.
Yeah, it's going to be like The Grandmother, that David Lynch movie where they plant the seed and the grandmother gets born out of it. Addison says 119 girl really needs to be addressed. Oh, I agree. If they don't, that would be because they cut back to it way too many times to have it just be random, right?
Yeah, I don't know. She kind of reminds you of the importance of having a dad around, like, yeah, referring to Sunny D. Maybe, I don't know. She represents like social poverty and misery. So I don't know if she has another part to play. I hope so. I quite like her.
PNW Seeker says, you can't make a tulpa, laugh out loud. It's called fiction. Well, let me tell you something. Listen, you can make a tulpa, and this Sunday, between 12 and 4 on this channel, we are going to make a tulpa. It may take us 4 hours to do it, but I got a seed. I'm going to pull some hair out, and we're going to grow a tulpa, so I don't have to go to work anymore. All right. Okay, they're talking about Julie Cruz again. I think we I think we addressed that earlier. I hope she does show up. I mean, it would be completely lame if her performance got cut out of the series when so much quote unquote filler got left in. You know. So I mean, we got two. Was it Au Revoir Simone songs? We can't get a Julie Cruz song in there. Come on.
I really like the Lizzie performance. Honestly, it's my favorite song right now. I keep listening to that like on repeat.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a powerful and hopeful song. I like it.
So my theory about the James Hurley song at the Roadhouse is don't laugh.
Sorry, it's just his voice. I can't get over his voice. I can't even have a high pitch like this.
So you don't think James Hurley singing that song is hot?
No, but it's touching.
So here's my theory about it. I think that Donna died in the motorcycle accident with James.
Possibly.
And Maddie is obviously dead as well. So I think that song was done as a tribute to both the women that he cared about.
It was touching that he did it. I mean, I don't enjoy the song and I don't see why anyone would, but I liked seeing James on stage with that reminiscence. That was very nice. But I think James is somebody that we don't know much about, but I'm sure he's aware of more than he lets show. Like the way he never said anything about that noise in the furnace. He's just like, yeah, let's just go for a beer at the Roadhouse. Like, unless he doesn't have all his cognitive skills anymore, I think he knows more. Maybe he's met with a giant too, and we just don't know that yet.
So would you ever go out with a British guy with the green glove that never took it off?
Yeah, maybe. I never
thought about it. Huh?
No, I never did. But if he keeps it clean, maybe, yeah. Otherwise, it's like all the cat hair, like attracted to the rubber.
Well, you know, you'd have to sit there with the lint roller, just take it off.
Oh God! But I like that character though. He's so cool. I can't wait to see what kind of an Avengers type of scenario we'll get from Freddy. I like this kid. I'm so glad he's. And I've been thinking who else could be like an international agent like he is, and I was thinking about the Polish guy, and then I got to think about maybe Heidi with her dolphin laugh. Maybe she's there for a bigger reason. I don't think so, but I'd like for her to be part of that.
Are we gonna find out that Miriam's okay from being in the hospital?
I don't know. We just don't care anymore.
Well, as Shelley and Heidi, they owe her a pie, you know. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I hope she recovers, and well, she will recover. I'm not worried for her.
No, because Ben Horn's paying for everything, so she'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Addison says, "How about more chromatics in the same outfits, Cam?" Hey, listen, it wasn't the chromatics I had a problem with. Well, the chromatics a little bit, but it was also Au Revoir Simone, because they cut back and they're in the same outfits again. Though, if I see one more Roadhouse puddle with people walking through it, I'm gonna get upset. But they showed that shot way too many times. Yeah, I agree. Where is Hank Jennings? Yeah, I agree. I don't care what the book says. Where is Hank Jennings? Because they said it in the series that he's going to get out in 25 years in prison, and we're 25 years later.
Interesting.
I don't know why Mark Frost would quote unquote realistically kill him in the book when there's so many other facts that don't match up in that book. Because Chris Mulkey has been just a true blue believer in Twin Peaks all this time. He's gone to a lot of the festivals. I find it hard to believe that they couldn't sneak him in there or mention his character at all.
Maybe he had a tulpa.
Yeah. I mean, is Shelley wearing Bobby Briggs's wedding ring around her neck? I'm assuming so, right? I mean, she's not wearing Leo Johnson's wedding ring around her neck.
Yeah, I don't know. It's still pretty weird that she's like divorced and she holds on to it while she's dating this magician guy.
Look, she's weird because she's dealing with her daughter who almost ran her over and shot a door.
Yeah.
To run outside and make out with, the mechanic from Lost Highway. So that's right. I'm looking at you, Balthazar Getty. Get your hands off Machen Amick in that scene. Let her go back to Riverdale. All right. I just found it like she's deserting her whole family. Even Norma Jennings was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to deal with Red because he's done nothing for this series. But if they don't deal with it, I'm going to be super PO'd that they don't kind of sum him up, you know, that he was just there for whatever.
I'm hoping he's got a little bit of good in him, and maybe that's what she likes about him and why she's dating him. But she has such a bad history of choosing men, and she commented on her daughter making the wrong choices. I'm like, she can't like blame her daughter if she's doing the same thing over again, right?
Well, yeah, she's got issues. People are saying, but Balthazar Getty's so hot.
Who is?
Balthazar Getty, Red.
Whatever.
You didn't think it was cute and hot when he was like this at her at the Roadhouse?
Not so much.
Okay, here's my question that I've driven everybody nuts listening to, I know, but why the hell, when Shelly's at the Roadhouse with her friends, does Renee say, "What are you talking about? Everybody loves Steven." Who the hell is everybody? Nobody likes that crack addict.
Right? He's gross.
He's gross. He says like nasty, horrible things to Donna's little sister in the woods. I mean, if you turn on the subtitles, you'll almost like throw up in your mouth because some of the things he says. And I'm supposed to believe this line in the second episode where Renee goes, "Everybody loves Steven." No.
Well, maybe part of that crowd, part of like the kind of dodgy strangers who don't look that friendly. Maybe they think he's the best guy ever, you know?
Right.
But since we know better people, maybe we just think he's...
I just asked who likes Steven, and George in the chat says the other crackheads in town. So
yeah, basically. That's right. Yeah, he's gross. Who is his family? We don't know that, right?
No,
who's to blame for his existence?
Look, he couldn't even get a job with Mike Nelson. Okay.
But he's a high school graduate, so he kept saying that.
I'm kind of bummed that James Hurley is the security guard at the Great Northern Hotel, because I think him having the connection with the Bookhouse Boys and Ed should have gotten him a deputy job, and I would have loved to have seen him and Bobby as deputies together.
Yeah, especially that they used to be the dodgy kids, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe, I don't know.
No, so Wilton says maybe Steve had been a good kid at some point and the drugs did that. He was talking to Becky. "I know what you did. She's probably not a saint." No, I agree with you. Okay, I think that's the backstory we are to assume. However, considering that probably the Twin Peaks timeline is not very long, I don't think that a character like Renee would be saying that Steven is so well liked at that moment in time. Belljar Girl says, "Becky reminds me of a young Laura." That's what every website said. Like, "Oh, Amanda Seyfried's the new Laura Palmer." No, there's only one Laura Palmer, and Laura is the one.
Yeah, she's similar, but she's not a... Maybe it's just because we don't see her picture all over, like, everywhere. Maybe that's why, but she's not Laura.
PNW Seeker says, "James can't be a deputy because he would try to have sex with every woman he pulled over." No, he wouldn't. Only the married ones.
What's up with that girl? Like, I thought it was maybe his daughter at first.
Who, Renee?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, wait, what's going on with them?
No, because Shelly was saying, like, "Oh, what, does James have a crush on you?" At the end in part 2. So obviously he's not crushing his daughter. He's not Leland Palmer.
Right, I didn't hear that.
Did you get this from your lover? From Firewalk with Me? Oh my
God. You wash your hands?
They don't call them lovers in high school, Leland.
It was so gross.
Yeah, George says, "Yes, James only likes women if they are married or the best friend of someone he's dated." We all got our kinks, he says. Belljar Girl says, "I'm a huge Laura fan. I just want her to be vindicated." I think you will be. I honestly believe that Laura Palmer is alive at the end of this series.
But will her arms bend back, or will they be like normal arms?
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of attractive if, you know, you're like this, right? Just walking around. You know,
Kind of like Charlie.
I was honestly shocked when they showed that scene in part 2 where Charlie comes out and talks with Cooper, that she repeated similar lines from the dream sequence. That
Yeah.
kind of surprised me. Do you think that Laura in the lodge talking to Cooper in that scene was Laura, or do you feel like that was a doppelganger of Laura in there?
I'd like if it was Laura, but I don't feel like it was her because of that. I feel like I know her, but my arms bend back. Like
what is it with women judging other women by their haircut? Okay, I mean she's not, you know, just
I
because
didn't
she
even
didn't have
talk about the hair.
the long flowing locks from Fire Walk with Me. Now she's got the short hair. Okay, like, listen, I don't know who is, you know, who cuts hair in the Black Lodge, but
I didn't even talk about hair.
I know,
I
but
wasn't talking.
I'm just playing. I'm just teasing.
It's pretty funny though. Yeah, who cuts their hair? Oh my God, that's a good question. Imagine they just like Dale after 25 years. It's just like
here's my other question. This has been a theory we've been throwing out. I want to get your opinion on this. Okay, we all know what she means in Fire Walk with Me when she tells James, you know, like, oh, your Laura's disappeared, and you know, and all this kind of thing about like, okay, the goody Laura that you like, you know, it's not there. Okay, so here's the crazy theory going around around these parts. What if Laura, looking at the painting, and she sees herself in the doorway of the painting, right? What if the good Laura is the one that went into the painting, and the one who got killed was the doppelganger? So when she tells James, your Laura disappeared, oh, she did. She's already in the lodge, and the bad one is the one that died.
I totally can't believe that.
And
I like that.
And that is how you get Laura to live again.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I think
I want it to be true.
But they got 2 hours. and
but
we know 10 of these minutes will be Cooper tying his shoes. Okay. So
well, not anymore. I think he's good now. He's good with, you know, his functions. But why else would she go in that painting after all, except like to make it like a bit like a freaky scene? Maybe there was a bigger purpose, and that could be it.
Twin Peaks 2, Freaky Friday. Joey Pedra says, yeah, Laura starts wearing mostly dark clothes after that scene. Dun, dun, dun.
I hadn't noticed. Hey, tell Joey congrats on meeting Kyle MacLachlan yesterday or today. I saw that on Facebook or YouTube.
Do you know you watched Joey's channel?
I did. Well, I did not watch everything, but I watched some things, and I saw when he was publishing your stuff when you were like AWOL. So hi, Joey.
He came on my video as a guest and got me kicked off YouTube for a week. So thanks, Joey. I'm just kidding. No, I don't know. YouTube has it out for me sometimes. So no, but he was great to you know, do kind of an illegal screening of some of the podcasts and stuff. So it was fantastic. Actually, I gave him permission, so it's not quite illegal, but you know, underneath YouTube's nose. So, all right, guys, we're gonna take a few more questions here. George Ray says the last 20 minutes will be slow motion of people walking through the roadhouse puddle. Are you trying to make me upset here? I'm about to just bash my head into this camera like Dale at the end of the series.
Maybe the woodsmen have been falling into that puddle, and that's why they're so disgusting, and it generates woodsmen.
Do you think that in the above the convenience store scene in Fire Walk with Me, and Jürgen Prochnow there with the beard, and he does that right? Do you think that's one of the woodsmen? You think it's supposed to be, because some people thought it was supposed to be the log lady's husband back in the day, but now I'm thinking that's sort of like a prototype for the woodsman. Although it's
clean though, but
he's clean and he's not like 400 pounds, because the woodsmen obviously don't have like a height and weight requirement to be like an evil woodsman, because they're all shapes and sizes and we love them all. I'm just saying. Obviously, they don't have to run; they just have to creep and look like the scene from Step in Time from Mary Poppins, dancing on the rooftops.
Nice. Oh wow! I hope we get to learn more about the log lady's husband as well. I'd very much like to, and her log, and you know, I want to I want to know more about her.
Wicked Scott says, my dad was an evil woodsman. Did he like run up and creep up on you all the time and try to crack your head open?
Oh man.
Pineapple Squid says, yeah, 25 years without a shower does get a man pretty dirty.
True. Are they alive though? That's something we're not really sure about. Are they like ghosts or are they alive? Have they
Well,
stopped in time?
the only time they move fast is when David Lynch, whips Dwayne Dunham to make faster edits. That's the only time. So, but no, people are saying like, I'm so glad the series is back. I can't believe it came back. I'm just thrilled that the series came back, but myself, obviously, but I'm also thrilled just because it's allowed me to make these videos. Back in the day, I know you didn't watch the series when it was originally on, but back in the day, the moment the series ended, I would be on the phone Saturday night, 11 o'clock at night, talking to my friends, like, what are you thinking? This and that. And of course, that series was not like this series. I mean, I think there's even more to discuss with this series than there was with the original series. We were just geeking out about the original series back then. But this, to me, I'm not really in touch with those people anymore, unfortunately, all those old friends of mine. So I don't know if they're watching the series or not, but I love these videos because they allow me to talk with you and other people about, it's kind of the same thing, only we get to do it face to face and bring the rest of the world in with us in our conversation. And I mean, I give YouTube a lot of crap because of what they've done to me over the summer, but it's kind of the power of the internet and the power of doing these videos. And I wouldn't be doing them if the reaction wasn't so enthusiastic,
Yeah, for sure. And myself, I thought about watching videos from part 10 or so. A friend of mine who knows, because I've been talking about Twin Peaks on Facebook for the whole time and nobody cares. Like, as I said, in Quebec, it's not playing right now, or it's not playing in French, so most people don't really care. So I felt so lonely with my love for Twin Peaks, and I started watching different videos, and I've had so much joy following all of you guys. It's important. I feel like it's like-minded people, fascinated and inspired by something way greater than themselves, and they kind of all decided to get out of the shit and into the truth together. And I think it's very meaningful. In my life, Twin Peaks has only had positive effects. Like, really, it's been almost like a therapy. It's been something a bit uncanny for me, and I realize that I'm not the only one. So for sure, it's precious, I think, to have those conversations and to get people together. With all the bad stuff happening, it's good that there are those white lodge forces created by Mark Frost and Lynch, where people can get together and have that fantastic world living a bit more.
Dan O'Mano says, Cam, I wish you had recorded those old phone calls from 1990. They would have made a great upload for the channel. That would mean that I would have to predict the internet, and then I would be rich. And I wouldn't have to create a tulpa this Sunday between 12 and 4. Let's see. Joey says, preach. So good job, Annie. So, all right, guys, we're probably going to wrap this up. We've gone far enough. I'm already going to get enough complaints about how long is this watch along video?
Well, they're not forced to watch the whole thing. They can just go get a cup of coffee and come back later or not. Like, what? I don't understand people. Freedom of choice, people. Freedom of choice.
No, they want me to put like timestamps so they can bypass our awesome conversations and just get to the meat of the video. And I say, no, you got to suffer through it all. All right. So where can people find you online, Annie?
Well, they can find me on my YouTube channel, How's Annie, and Twitter, which I hadn't used in ages, but I've come back, and now I keep tweeting at Mark Frost. He must be like, who's this psycho?
He's
and
like,
also,
stalker.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. He changed my life a little bit, so I feel like I must tell him, but not for too long, not stalker points. But also, I was wondering who Judy is, and I tweeted at Ivanka Trump to ask her if she knew and if she's Judy, but she didn't answer, so she might be. So my Twitter name,
you
it's a
you
French.
actually tweeted Ivanka Trump and asked her if she was Judy?
Yeah, but nobody
She thinks
sees my tweets.
no, she thinks you're asking if she's Judy Jetson.
Well, I mentioned Twin Peaks, so she should know. I mean, do your research, Ivanka. But it would be cool if it was like somebody completely outside of the Twin Peaks world. It's like, oh, it's Judi Dench, or I don't know. I like to think about the very unlikely things that could happen. I'll
Okay,
just
so
give my Twitter name, okay? Otherwise, I'll forget and they won't know where
okay,
to read my tweets to Ivanka.
okay.
It's, I'll spell it because it's French, okay? So it's LE22IEMESIECLE. And I'm following you, so maybe I'll tweet something with your name on it so people can find it. But it's Le 22e siècle. But
What?
yeah, and like the 22nd century in French, Le
Okay.
22e siècle. So yeah, rewatch the video if you didn't hear what I said. That's it.
I thought Garmin Bose was going to come out of your mouth when you were saying that.
I couldn't, I would choke. I can't do two things like this.
You can't hold the camera, speak
No, I
French,
can like, no,
and
I can
chew
speak
cream
French and
corn at the
then
same
like
time.
vomit like cream corn at the same time. It's really gross,
Well, that
but
would
I
be.
can try.
We'll see. You're
Someone
talking about
found
Dale
me.
Cooper. That would be pretty hot though if you could talk and spew cream corn at the same time. So, but
Yeah,
that's something that Jennifer Jason Leigh can do because she loves doing that kind of stuff on camera.
nice. I'll leave it to her. There's a big risk that I'll choke and die before Sunday if I try this, so I'll stay safe.
Do it Monday. Do it Monday.
Yeah, Monday, nothing matters anymore.
Uh, so people can message you on the YouTube channel, or do you have an official email for that channel yet?
I have an email. It's actually firewaltzwithme
So,
@gmail.com.
and that's WALTZ.
Exactly.
Okay, because your
Thank you for
videos are
spelling.
called Fire Watch with
Watch.
Me.
Yeah,
Very
my
clever.
brand identity is all over the place. It's non-existent. And I might actually create a Facebook page for those videos in a few days. So just follow me on Twitter and you'll
Yes,
find the way.
create a Facebook page for your channel and link that to your Twitter. It makes life so much easier and makes everyone be able to find you easy. And they
I
can
didn't want
message.
to be found before. That's the thing. It changed within the two. Like I just want Twin Peakers to find me though.
Right.
I don't want any like beauty vlogger talking to me about her nail polish. Unless it's Diane's nail polish. You've been
Well,
manicured.
you've been manicured. I have to say, this doing these videos was a really big step forward for me because for so long, David Lynch, Twin Peaks, especially Mark Frost, this whole thing was so personal to me that for other people, like religion, spirituality is very important to them.
Yeah,
To me, I hold Twin Peaks under that same umbrella.
I get it.
So Twin Peaks was something that I discussed with people that I was very close with, but it wasn't something that I went on message boards and discussed with people or threw out crazy theories or that type of thing.
Yeah, they'll think you're insane anyway.
Yeah, but I didn't do that, not because I think there's something wrong with that. I just me myself just never really got involved with that. I've never gone to a Twin Peaks festival. Not that I'm against those, but I've just never gone. I heard it's fantastic, and I would love to go sometime, but they seem to always book up pretty fast. That being said, I've gone to Snoqualmie and North Bend several times, and I seem to always like be there a week or two before the festival. And I have to say that while I'm sure being at the festival is great and all that, I do love being up there by myself because it's so spiritual to me. So it wasn't until I had the great fortune of interviewing Jennifer Lynch, and I was talking with her about a bunch of stuff, and it all of a sudden flooded my memories back of like my youth and my childhood and growing up with the show and that type of thing. And that kind of began my sort of online presence with the show, which has had ups and downs with several people in the community because there's wonderful people, but crazy people too.
Yeah.
But that being said, this new series and building up to this new series and going through it and doing these watch alongs and the initial reactions and the Father of the Day videos and all that other stuff, it's been the most rewarding thing that's happened to me like in a long time. And I thought that maybe there'd be like ups and downs with it. And obviously there's downs obviously with the whole YouTube thing, but nothing having to do with the community itself. The community has been nothing but so supportive. They followed me onto another channel to do live streams. They've gone to the VidMe accounts. They're subscribed to me everywhere. Listen, if someone had said to me such a convoluted thing of, I need you to subscribe to here, but we're going to do live videos over here, and then if you get these videos, I would have been like, no, I'm done. I'm out of here. But people have been so supportive, and you know, so if you get people on your side, Annie, I mean, they will follow you to the White Lodge and back. And seriously, I just want to say thank you very much. It's meant the world to me. Obviously, we're going to be doing on Sunday, as I mentioned before, but there's new people in the chat here, so I want to throw this out. From 12 p.m. to 4 p.m., we're going to be doing a huge live countdown to the finale. There's going to be a lot of people coming in and out of the videos. If you're interested in being on one of the videos, send me an email to obnoxiousanonymous@hotmail.com. Tell us why you want to be on the video, especially if you've been a long-time fan, I'm going to know who you are, but just identify yourself. I get some emails saying, put me on. That's all it says. And I go, who the hell are you? You know? But anyway, we're going to have a lot of people on there. It's going to be super fun. And then, of course, the finale. And then Hal and I are going to do the initial reaction video. And then we'll do the watch-alongs. And the videos aren't going to stop because obviously there's a lot of stuff to just keep discussing. But I really want us to remain a tight-knit community because I don't want it to just drop off and be like, well, the series is over, so you know we're now on to Will and Grace, the reunion show. You know, now I mean, you know, I won't be doing after shows for the Will and Grace reunion show, I swear. But you know, I really want like the people that have been around us to continue to be with us because the videos aren't going to stop, and I have so many ideas for great like video essays and stuff that I want to do that I can put up on VidMe without worrying about YouTube pulling them down because I don't know, they don't like an image I show or something like that. But I'm in the middle of this series. It's almost I'm in the middle of doing these videos and the finales this Sunday. So I haven't had time to put together these video essays, but they're coming and I can't wait to share them. And one of them is definitely going to be, people have been hounding me about the my theory on Mulholland Drive, and because people are like, what is your crazy ass theory? It's really not that crazy, but it's just so different than what other people have said since the movie came out. So I need to put together a little essay and explain why I think the way I do. Not that there's any, listen, whatever you think Mulholland Drive is about, you're right. Okay, whatever I think Mulholland Drive is about, I'm right. So, but
it's beautiful to when people share their interpretation and
right. I just know that there's going to be someone going, well, that's not what happened. Because if you look at this saying that's, I'm like, listen, I don't care. That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everyone is convinced that it's the truth, but it's their truth. So just have your truth. Yeah.
And there is no answer, despite what the Universal DVD says. Here are the 10 ways of unlocking Mulholland Drive. David Lynch didn't write those questions. Universal was like, Robert Forster shows up 5 minutes in. Where does he go? That type of thing. He shows up in Twin Peaks. He's Frank Truman. Okay, one thing though before we go, do you expect a Michael Onkin appearance in the finale?
Who? Oh my God! No, I don't. But that would be awesome.
But I don't think that they're going to leave us thinking that Harry Truman, passed away or something.
I hadn't thought about this. I'm sure, I don't know, they're going to be like, yeah, he really enjoyed getting that key from the motel. Like, something very indirect like this. But I don't expect him to be. Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting that question. What do you think? I mean, I would love to see him.
I think we are. I think they might even do a Skype thing like they did with Doc Hayward because they've been mentioning him way too much this season. Because
I thought he was just like out of the project completely. That was my understanding.
Well,
But
yeah, but I mean, but that doesn't mean they can't still deal with his character. I don't think they're gonna just leave it like, well, Harry's in the hospital. That's it.
yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, and are we ever gonna find out anything about Beverly's husband? Or is there gonna be something more with her and Ben Horn? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that character is for, except Ashley Judd, who's a wonderful actress. I'm not sure what's up with those guys.
Right.
Yeah, there are so many questions. Like I'm getting lost, just wondering about what will happen.
Well, don't worry, because Reggie in the chat says that next up on Obnoxious and Anonymous will be Will and Grace Thought of the Day. But yeah, and some people are like, yeah, this has been the summer of peaks. Yeah, I've been saying it's been the summer of David Lynch, and it ends Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, it officially ends Sunday, where you don't have to tune into Showtime Sunday nights anymore. But it continues on for us.
It does.
I mean, Twin Peaks originally has been, with us for 25 years. You think this new series ends and we're just done?
Yeah, exactly. No, it's timeless. I mean, what I've felt from watching Twin Peaks in the last couple of years, but especially this season, that doesn't go away. It's like meeting the love of your life. You don't just like, oh, I haven't seen him since 2 days. Like, piss off, No, it's forever. I love them forever.
I agree. So, okay, before this video is over, I need you to open up a tab and go to YouTube and go to the How's Annie YouTube channel. Hit subscribe and hit the notifications bell, so every time she puts up a video, you are notified. If you are not subscribed to the main Obnoxious and Anonymous channel on YouTube, please subscribe to there. Also, make sure to subscribe to the VidMe account. It's kind of fallen off with subscribers lately. Just I think most of the people that want to subscribe have already, but I'm hoping that more people will come soon. I know it doesn't work for some people's platforms, but I assure you the videos are nice and safe and happy over there. When they're up on YouTube, within like 3 days, I get a notification from YouTube saying, we have detected a problem with your video. We do not like the content on it. And I go, God damn. So I kind of do something. I unlisted it or make it private, and then I put it up on the VidMe account. So make sure to subscribe here, because YouTube's a pain in the ass. But I do like their live streaming. I adore the fact that they let me live stream to so many of you. Hang on, guys. I'm just going to focus this on my and oh, perfect. Okay, so make sure you subscribe to all these channels. Thank you very much for watching. And Annie, we will see you Sunday.
I will be there Sunday. Thank you so much for having me. Again, it's kind of surreal for me to be in the computer when I was watching 2 weeks ago. But thank you. I've had a great time, and I look forward to keeping the discussion going.
Oh, definitely. Thank you so much for joining me on this Friday night. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking the time out to watch these videos. Yeah, we'll see you Sunday. We're going to do the live pre-show, and then we're going to do the after show. Whew, 2 days. It's almost here.
Almost. Don't die. Make sure that you survive until Sunday night. Then it's up to you to choose.
I'm going to end this episode like the one-armed man. Don't die. Don't die. All right, everybody. Have a good night. See ya.